That's killed it.
You made the decision to play Thiago. Klopp doesn't change the system. Since move back left. You don't want to change from the 4-3.
Boom, boom, boom. What's going on, people? Back again. 2 days in a row. It's the J James Show. And I'm with G. I mean, how can you complain? What's going on, G, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, bro. I mean, I'm feeling all right today. I can't even lie. I'm hoping that this mood stays the same from now until Sunday. No. Saturday, 5 p.m. Then I'm good. What are you telling me?
Why are you in such a good mood?
Because for the first time in ages, I went into work, came back, and I don't think I mentioned anything to do with Liverpool or the midfield. So I kind of felt like I was having a good morning, if I'm being super real with you. What are you telling me? I'm
good, man. I'm good. As I said,
you got a smile on your face. You know what I'm saying? There's no frown today. There's no frown today.
No, there isn't, man. There is. I've done some research in regards to obviously the game at hand, and we'll get into that. But considering history and we hope the Cherries get popped today. On Saturday. That's what we do. We hope the Cherries get popped.
We mean it in a football sense, guys. In a football sense.
Yeah, of course. No other way. But big up whoever's in the chat, and obviously there's loads of streams going on. We've obviously got the Champions League draw as well that's happening. So we will be updating you guys as and when that's happening. Currently, it's Ajax. We're in a group with Ajax, guys.
We got Ajax.
We got Ajax. So, we've done all right in that regard so far. Yeah, so calm. As Aman's saying, Ajax, so calm so far. So big up Cartel Cannavaro. Big up yourself, man. Listen, last stream you was on fire. So big up yourself. Saying, being a Liverpool fan of 38 years, I've subscribed hoping you won't be a typical LFC fan channel. I respect rival fan channels. Moan 24/7, but force change. Love though, boys. Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, look, we appreciate it. I mean, we're going to be very against the grain, and I guess we're going to be very true to ourselves and real. So if that's something that you like and you adhere to them, then big up yourself. Kato Cannavaro saying again, all LFC channels play FIFA Manager, compare parade numbers, emotionally attached to dead players, love spreadsheets, talk about Salah wages, and touch themselves when camera pans to Klopp. Well, regards to Klopp, I won't be touching myself.
We won't be touching ourselves in that regard.
Kato Cannavaro, that's not going to be myself. As you see right now, and Aman's saying it, we got Napoli. Ajax, Napoli. I mean,
historically against Napoli, we don't really do. Last couple of games, I felt like we've not really done well against them like that. To my knowledge,
we haven't, and it's just waiting for that last team. I mean, look, that pot. Where is it? 5 or 6 or whatever it is. I mean, there's not some great teams in it, but I mean, you don't want it to be a Celtic or someone emotional. You don't, especially considering the situation we're in at the moment. You don't. So big up yourselves, man.
Just before we dive into obviously the Bournemouth preview and that, who did you want, just quickly, in the Champions League draw? I think I saw you say something in the group, and I think we're on the same wavelength, but I just want to know.
I wanted a stern test.
Okay.
I wanted a stern test. What I didn't want, I would rather us play, get a Bayern Munich, a PSG, someone of that ilk.
Facts.
And the reason is not because I want us to lose. It's for us to buck up ideas, because Liverpool tend to play better against the top teams. Fact. What I don't want to happen is to go into a group where we're going up against teams like Frankfurt, Celtic, Rangers, these type of teams, and we end up just capitulating. For me personally, it's either sink or swim time now. So bring on the big boys early on.
Mhm.
Do we do the business?
Mhm.
Can Klopp do the business? Can the team do the business?
Facts.
If they don't do the business, then the proof's in the pudding. Shout out to Cam. Shout out to Cam from Time TV. But proof's in the puds. Proof's in the puds. It is. If we can't beat these teams, or we get dismantled by these teams,
Mhm.
that's an early insight into where we are as a team.
Mhm. I agree.
Because we've now faced the likes of, and we would have faced by that time the likes of your Evertons, your Fulhams, your Bournemouths, your Brightons, etc.
Mhm.
And then in the Champions League, you're going up against the German winners, PSG, and all these favourites for the competition. So I think when you think about it, I think that's the best. That would be the best way to go into it.
No,
Yeah,
I agree.
because I'm looking right now, and we will get the group highlighted in there. But Chelsea got a decent group.
Chelsea got a decent group.
AC Milan, Chelsea, and Salzburg.
AC Milan, Chelsea, Salzburg. Could be tricky for them. Could be tricky. I think they're going to be one of the, out of all four of us, depending on who we get as a last team, I feel like they're the ones I'm looking at, but I don't know who Spurs have got at the moment.
Yeah. Like I said, it's going to be interesting. What we're going to do, though, because I can't, I'm going to try and get up. But, I'll put up Liverpool's group so far on the banner so everyone can go and see that as you come in. But, guys, housekeeping, entry, ticket for entry, bouncer settings. Where's the ticket, guys? We need a like. That's it. All we need is a like, guys. Can we get the likes up on the channel straight away?
Come on, guys. Ticket to entry, guys. It's free entry. We don't ask for anything crazy. We ain't asking for anything mad. We're just asking for a little ticket, which is just a like. As in, I don't want anything from you guys. We love you guys in the chat. Keep up the conversation, man. All we ask is just a like. That's all.
That's it. But guess who we got coming into the building? Unexpected, but expect the unexpected on this show. Let's get ready to rumble. We got Roms in the building. What's up, Roms? What are you saying?
Bro, I'm just watching this draw, bro. I had a bit of an anxiety in that, but you don't know the results, obviously, so far.
Yeah, we know the results so far.
What's your views on it? Because Nafi kind of do well against us in the group stage, away from home. Right?
Yeah, I mean, they do. And then we saw what United done to us. If Ajax play better football with Ten Hag, I mean, if the remnants of Ten Hag are still about, I mean, in Amsterdam, then boy, you might be in for a tricky one.
Streets are saying Yaya Toure will break the City curse because he's the one picking out the.
Yeah, I can see it. To be fair, what I don't understand, before obviously we go and get into it, we're gonna just try, run it up. But why can't they just use a computer to go and do it? Saves time. Like no one cares about the ball. Like,
bro, Haaland's going back to Dortmund.
Tradition. Like I don't get it.
City got Dortmund. Haaland's going back to his old.
So we then know that Bellingham will be having very nice conversations at the Etihad
with Pep Guardiola and Haaland in his little office.
Yep,
discussing a package that suits both parties.
Yeah,
and I'm
brilliant. Brilliant.
The name Bellingham will only be echoed, from the away stands at Anfield next season. We all knew it. I knew it. You knew it. G knew it. The chat knew it. Everyone did. It's mad.
Bear with me, you two.
Yeah. Do your thing. We're looking now, guys, and Group B's done.
Okay.
No. Group B's actually not done. Tell a lie. We're all on 3. Inter Milan.
We got RJ in the building. Sorry, I called him RJ. I decided to give him a little nickname and that. You know what I'm saying?
You got him, man. Big up RJ in the building. What's going on? RJ saying Alisson Becker done a post-match interview after Man United saying we are easy to play against. Worrying comment from one of our players. What the hell is going on behind the scenes? Listen, it's true. It's true, man.
So just on that, RJ he said that after, because I've seen quite a few people say this. Okay.
After the loss, I've actually seen it.
Okay.
Yeah. We're looking there. Big up Marque. Marque saying some LFC fans think Bellingham will just spawn out of the centre circle at Anfield. This is what I don't understand. And the thing is, he's not he's good, but he's like, what do you think he's going to be like better than like what a Gundogan is?
Let's put it this way. What did we say yesterday? What did I send in the like in our group chat yesterday? I think it was a tweet that someone put out about Bellingham. He's not the Mbappe of midfielders. Like, let's be honest with each other. He's not that type of player. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I agree with Jerry, man. I think we need to, we don't anyway, but I think Liverpool fans need to just have that dream of, you know what it is? I actually believe Liverpool fans think this guy is going to be like Gerrard, you know, he's going to be this marauding central midfielder and come in. And I'm like, I feel you guys have forgotten who the manager is.
And what the system is.
Yeah, and what the system is. Like, you know, we play a certain system, guys, as we've seen with Thiago, someone who is completely, as Jerry mentioned in previous streams, like Thiago is a different type of player than what we normally would get. So I don't see why Bellingham is going to come in and, you know, I mean, be any different than what we already have, to be honest with you. Like, so.
Exactly. I mean, we're looking at it now, and look, all the teams have got, obviously, all teams, they're just selecting the last team now. And out of pot 4, you've got Celtic, Bruges, Copenhagen, Maccabi Haifa, Marseille, Victoria Plzen, and Rangers and Dinamo Zagreb. Now, I'm telling you now, I've got a gut feeling it's either going to be Rangers or Celtic. I'm telling you now, if we get Rangers or Celtic, mark my words, it's going to be a more difficult game than we give them, because there's going to be emotion involved. These teams, that's what they're living for. Oh, okay, well, Celtic's out of the question. Cool. So maybe I'm wrong. Celtic's gone into Group F with Real Madrid, Leipzig, and Shakhtar Donetsk.
They're getting knocked out quickly.
Yeah, to be fair, Shakhtar Donetsk, considering what's going on in their hometown as well. So, I mean, in Ukraine, it's going to be difficult for them to really do anything momentous, special. They haven't even got a training ground. They haven't played their games. They haven't played their games in the stadium for about 2 seasons now, before the war. So it's going to be difficult. Leipzig, they're not the Leipzig of old. That's a very, very easy group. Easy group, in my opinion. But big up Marque saying obviously he thinks PSG are going to win the Champions League. Reason Jared saying City will win it.
Who have you got?
All I know, Liverpool's not winning.
That's the only guarantee that I could actually come on here and say we ain't winning.
No, it's mad. Listen, if we were to win the Champions League, I'd actually say, okay, we've actually got this bond between, the Champions League, Liverpool. It's actually madder than we think. It's madder, like it's deeper than it is, because on surface level, like, of course you're not winning this. Of course you're not winning this. 100%. But no, I give it PSG. You know, I think it's the Neymar remontada. I think he comes back and dominates. I think the slander on Neymar's name is a bit mad, in my opinion. Like,
I don't know why. No, okay, I know why, but I know people's reasonings why. But Jerry, you've alluded somewhere, and you actually made me deeper a little bit, because I never thought of it from that side. I just saw it from a different kind of angle when you mentioned about, bro, this guy's been a star since what, like 13 years old or something like that. Like, imagine being the country's hope at more or less that age, and your life has been watched, scrutinized, literally for every move, everything you do in a football pitch, all the way up till you've got to this point now. Bro, that is tough pressure to even have. Like, even a Messi, you got to realize Messi had he had Barcelona, but Barcelona already such a massive institution that everything was just geared towards him. But they let, Ronaldinho go, Eto'o go, Henry go, just for this one player. This guy's come from Brazil, literally from Brazil, to then move to Europe, where he's not from, to then come to another massive club in Barcelona, where you're a part of a squad with the best player in the world. And remember, they're worrying about the best player in the world. You're now just kind of secondary thinking, really and truly, behind everyone else. So it's difficult, man. So I think people do get onto him a bit too much, though. I can't lie.
Yeah, it's mad, because when you look at it, like like I said, not everyone can be a LeBron. Now, all our American subscribers and our viewers will know LeBron is an anomaly. LeBron's been in the public eye for so long. He's not faltering. He doesn't do anything wrong. He's a role model. He supports everything he's done is on point. But name me another player. Like Michael Jordan wasn't there. They're talking about someone, if this was football, he would have been #1 draft pick. That's the type of player we're talking about.
That's mad. He wasn't even a #1. Like when I think he wasn't. Jordan wasn't a #1 draft. That's mad.
LeBron was, and LeBron's had to maintain it. That's the difference. There's not that pressure. When you think of even Salah didn't have that pressure coming into football. You know what I mean? So it's easy. You got time to develop. It doesn't matter if he flops at Chelsea. Neymar had to pop off at Barca. He had to.
Straight away.
No development time. He goes into the Brazil squad. Yeah. He's got to win the World Cup. He's got to win it. And the way he was going, he was carrying that team until that injury. He was carrying that team at 21.
And they've got senior players in that team.
He was the main man. He was the captain at 21. It's mad.
No, but that's what I'm saying. They've got like older players like with a bit more experience, but he is the guy. Like
there we go. Big up Zabiri. Big up Zabiri. Man in the cut. Zabiri saying to look, Serena Williams had that hype. Watch King Richard. Definitely gonna go and watch that. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. Man. Big up as well, man. Wild one. All right, I'm looking at the teams now. Yeah. City got. All right. Oh, what did I say? Who did we get?
Rangers. We got Rangers.
Yeah.
Rangers. I don't want Rangers, bro.
You know what?
I don't want any of that.
When Marcus Tevet. Oh, listen. All I'm saying is, I should have put a damn bet on. I should be a betting man.
I knew he was going to get one of them, though. I knew he was going to get one of them. Celtic or Rangers. I knew it.
You know what? On paper, it don't look bad. It doesn't. You're thinking
on
Ajax, Napoli, Rangers. Your stereotypes, like originally, I'd be going into this like, yeah, confident. Rangers give me that bit of they're running into like, do you know what I mean, that European success they had in the Europa League, and yes, it was the Europa League, but even the way they played against Dortmund, and it's going to be a tricky game. It's going to be a tricky game, man.
Seeing Rangers up against PSV last night, like Rangers are. In Europe, they just seem like a different animal. I don't know what it is. Like they just seem over these last, like, would I say, year and a half, or since Gerrard left, to be honest, in Europe, they do pretty well. They do generally do pretty well. I have to give them that still. That's mad.
Yeah, it's mad. Well, guys, I mean, look, tell us in the comments who you think's got the easiest group. I'm going to put out, obviously, Liverpool's group now. We're in Group A. So I'm going to make sure that's going to be running across the back. But as you guys are doing that, let's move our focus away from the Champions League, away from what's going to happen in a month's time or so, or start, in 3 weeks. Bournemouth at Anfield, 3 p.m. kickoff.
Yeah.
Saturday. How are you feeling going into it?
Not really that confident, to be honest with you. I think the team is on a bit of a bad run, form out the window. Confidence for me looks very, very shot at this present moment in time. You can tell as well, especially just by forget the last game against United. I'm even just talking the first 2 games of the season. We just look so shot of just energy that you can see in the way that we play, in the things that we're trying to do. Obviously, the injuries do not help, but if I'm being honest, I feel like it's going to be like a draw, which is mad to say that we're going to draw with Bournemouth at home. Bournemouth, How about you? How you feeling?
I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. I've done a lot of research to do this, man. And a couple fans I actually spoke to as well. Proper good Bournemouth fans. Look, essentially, we're talking about another 6-pointer, considering where we are in the league.
Yep.
We're 15th and 16th respectively. So, do you know what I mean? So that's
sorry to cut you two. Do you know who the fourth?
Yeah. I said it before the stream. I said live. Sorry, when you were gone. I said,
Rangers or Celtic. Yeah.
And what do we get? It's scrolling across the banner. Rangers.
We're not winning at Ibrox. You two know this. I don't have to tell you two, but we're not winning at Ibrox. It's not happening.
Ibrox. This is what I'm talking about.
It's not happening. Their 12th man will win them that game alone. Forget ability. We could have Thiago back. We could have everyone back. We're losing at Ibrox.
We'd have to be so good to beat them at the Ibrox convincingly. That's so good.
Facts.
We're probably going to get them the first game of the match week.
Have you seen that Kolak brother? How he's been moving? He's their new Morelos, bro. He's bagging that 1 goal a game and that.
and Tavernier just doesn't stop. He just doesn't stop. Listen, I don't know
I'd
why.
have him over Trent. I'd have him over Trent right now.
Listen, I don't know why no one's come to get him. I don't know why no one's come to get him.
That part has confused me. That part's confused me. Why no one has come in for him? But his age, maybe. I don't know if he's too old. I don't know.
Yeah. As I was saying, man. Look. So as I said, 15th and 16th in the league, respectively. They're ahead of us with a point. Now, I looked at the game, and it's like Bournemouth looking at on paper, and this is what the fans have done in the club, I assume as well. The club would have done this. Their first opening 4 games are tough. We're tough because that Aston Villa, first game of the season, City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. So looking into that, Bournemouth will probably looking at that thinking we might get a point out of that game.
100%. Yeah,
and they managed to beat Aston Villa first game of the season.
So that already puts them in good stead. Like
Yeah. So now it's a thing where it is what it is with them. Like I know from what they've spoken about, and we'll get onto it. They've changed the way they've played from the championship. They've changed formation. They play with a back 5 now as opposed to a back 4. They are a different team, a different prospect than what you saw in the championship. If anyone did watch, but I mean, look, historically, we've done really well against them. The only time they've really troubled us was in the 2016-17 season 4-3. where we lost 4-3.
Yes,
and then in April we drew 2-2 against them. And that was the one season. That was the one season where they really caused us any problems. Apart from that, we literally smacked them since 1967. So it's one of those ones where I need to go into this game, and I have to go into this game as a Liverpool fan thinking, well, we're getting a 1-0. It's going to be a scrappy, cagey 1-0, but we're going to get a 1-0.
Wait, that's your prediction?
That's my prediction.
Jerry, you're more positive than me, boy, because I'm going for a 1. Big up everyone just saying Saints. I've come in from Saints, and they weren't agreeing with me, but I'm going for a 1-1, you lot. I told you my prediction would be that. Off the evidence of the last 3 games, what tells you we're even going to scrape a win? Yeah. Honestly, because, I've realized in the Prem as well, every other season, you can kind of look at one team and go, that's a 6 point or 3 point. I'm actually looking at everyone now, and there's no points are given now. Like the quality of the Prem, I just wrote. And big up saying it because if there's one team after United game, there's one team you could choose to play and the venue. I'm not even saying this. It probably would be Bournemouth at Anfield. I think out of the 20 teams, or other 19 teams, Bournemouth are the most weakest. So
I'd agree.
I pray you're right, Jerry. I pray. And if we do win, it will be a scoreline like that, a 1-0 or 2-1. But I honestly believe they take the lead. We come back into it and it's 1-1 again.
Yeah, look, I mean...
Okay, don't joke with that one. He's a baller.
I don't think he's joking. I think he's actually saying we might not make it out the hood.
Even Zamora.
Trent, at the end of this game, Trent might be on a white T-shirt, bro. He might just be on a white T-shirt with the clouds, bro. With the clouds. It's mad. It's mad. I mean... Oh, guys, we've got a special one. Jamie Phillips. He looks like he's hopping on. Guys. So make sure stay tuned, and we're gonna chop this one up. Big up Exhibit saying, drop Van Dijk. Maguire's soul is trying to take his body. Listen, the problem is we got no one else.
I was just about to say, who else?
No one else.
Sepp Vandenberg.
Get Morton
back. Rumors that Sepp Vandenberg could go right back if they put Trent into central midfield. Yeah,
wait,
G, you're joking, aren't you?
You're joking.
Bro, if I was joking, then I would have been telling you from time ago it was a joke. I'm being deadly serious that I've heard rumors. Again, these are not from credible sources, so let me not say that this is factual, but I've just heard rumors that they are looking at the possibility of putting Trent into midfield to help out with the situation. and Seth Vandenberg, who has played right back for Preston, or wing back, should I say? Let me not say right back.
We're about to laugh. Listen, you could never be on Sky Sports dropping us some transfer news, brother, on Liverpool. Liverpool are about to sign Calvin Ramsey. Man, will be creasing up in our faces. What the hell?
Starts busting up. Yeah. Who the hell is this guy?
Bro, I could never ever have that kind of conversation. It's long because the reality is you're talking about players who are not really our level. Like he's probably Bournemouth level, if that. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? And we're looking at those kind of things. I hope not. I hope he doesn't go with that midfield, but let's see.
I mean, Ned, hold that thought because we're going to obviously get into potential lineups and formations. We're going to run through these comments a bit quickly. Zubiri saying, look, big money on a 3-2 loss. You know what? We need to get Zubiri on the show as well, you know. Zubiri, listen, if I can get Zubiri on the show, I'm going to be honest because Zubiri only makes... There's only 1 or 2 appearances he makes on a couple channels here and there. He's always topless with the beads out, with the dreads out, spitting pure facts like it's a fire in the booth. So listen.
Right. Bro, I see him coming to a coffee stream with a belly on. Bro, I thought he was going to start spitting bars, bro.
Listen, I need to bring to come over Valley talking about Klopp because listen, we spoke about this in the group chat. Now, you know what? Let's throw this out there. Might as well just chop this up. Let's just get the negatives out of the way, innit?
Okay, cool.
Liverpool lose. How long before our FSG American owners look at Klopp and be like, "Nah, this situation's untenable"? Because although we might not be, I thought about it. Although the club might not be, and bear in mind, by the way, I'm not advocating for Klopp to be sacked. Neither is G. Neither is Roms. Like, we're not doing that. I'm just saying. Although FSG are an American model, and they'll be like, I'm pretty sure if Klopp got 4th for 10 years in a row, they're not going to sack Klopp. They're not going to because you're getting the money. But if you were to drop out the top 4, how quickly before FSG feel it in their pockets and say, you know what, no, we need to sort the situation. That's actually a really interesting comment. Big up Zabiri for that.
Honestly, though, like I said to you two in the chat, Klopp could lose the next 10 in a row. He'll still be here.
You think so? You think if Klopp lost next 10 in a row and we went 10...
That means no Champions League, brother, because no Champions League is like every week once it starts. So that would mean no Champions League. You'll probably drop into Europa. League title was done anyway, in our opinion. Top 4 potentially be done. I still think they'll be like, you know what? You got us our first league title in 32 years. You won us the Champions League. You know what? You can do no wrong.
You think FSG will do that, though? Because they're the Americans. They're the ones that people are telling me that don't care about Liverpool. And then they're not focused on
Liverpool. And
they're
hurting their pockets. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But who makes the decision? It wouldn't be them to make the decision to sack, would it?
Who would it be?
It will be FSG.
That's what I would have thought. It would be FSG.
Oh.
I think I don't even know. It will be something. It has to be something that hurts their pocket, as you said. So whether that 10-game loss would hurt their pocket enough, I don't know. I think if we fall out of the Champions League, though, end of season, I think Klopp will have this season no problem. It's depending on how the full season goes as a whole. I can't see him going midway through because the reality is they have to find someone unless they've got someone chilling there, etc., etc. So back a catch-22, to be honest.
Guess we got in the building. He's there.
What you man telling me? I can't hear you, man. So great. I don't know what's going on though, but you guys hear me?
Yeah. We hear you good, man. We hear you good.
Cool.
Break it down to us. This start of the season, I know you've been, do you know what I mean, FSG in, critical of Klopp beforehand, before this whole thing, since last season. We're now looking at it, 2 points out of 9. We're going into Bournemouth and everyone's shaking.
Yo, let me jump back out and I'm going to jump back in because I can't hear you guys, all right?
All right, cool. this is going to be an interesting one, you know. Before we get into this Bournemouth preview, it's going to be interesting. But you know what? We'll divert. How do you guys see the game panning out?
Go on, Lee. I think it's going to be even more frustrating. Jerry, kid you not, I reckon the possession stats will potentially even be 85-15. I think it'll go up a notch. I think it'll even go up a notch. And we'll huff and we'll puff, but we won't be able to blow the house down to the extent we need to. I think it'll be 1-1. I already said it'll be 1-1, but we're gonna dominate. I actually think, right? Not only we're gonna have more possession, the performance will actually be better, but the result won't be what we want. I think we're actually gonna come away from this game, Jerry, that you know what? Even us three, we actually played very well, better than the past few games. But I just think the cutting edge, us being clinical, it still won't be there yet. And that's where the frustration will come from. Because I can't see Bournemouth seeing much of the ball at all. All
right. Let's pause it. Zubiri's back in, of course. He's going to be back in. So we're going to chop up. But guess who else is in the building? Guess who else is here? Jamie Phillips.
My guy, Jamie, you know.
You all right, guys? You all right?
What's going on?
Just finished that Champions League draw. It took about 7 hours to draw 4. Mad.
Ridiculous. Before we get into the draw, Zubiri, I was into it because I haven't spoken to you. I haven't really seen you. I haven't been on copy doing the channel and stuff. But you've been very, very kind of supportive of FSG. Not necessarily just loving what FSG do, but you've been more so FSG and critical of Klopp at times and the system and Pep Linders and the coaching staff and some of the players. But this was from before. This is when we were doing really, really well. When you were looked at as the negative one. You were looked at as the mad one. You were getting, do you know what I mean? The heckles on Kopish and everything. Now we're looking at this season. We got 2 points out of 9. What's going on?
I am your leader. I am not a top red. I am your leader. Clip this right now. Yo, I'm trying to put you men on game, right? Because there's this cloud and narrative, and that's why I support you two guys. I don't even watch TV, right? And so I'm not on socials. I don't watch TV because they're feeding this narrative, and we're just consuming it. Jamie, I said it from day. Best commentator on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So I see these things. Commentating nowadays is just dry, man. It's just like that. The jury guy and maybe Proudfoot or whatever his name is. Few of them, man. So Jamie, you're gonna be up there. Your time will come. But FSG as a business, immaculate. You know what I'm saying? As far as the coaching, bro, we've been fed lies the entire time we're winning. The season we walked the league, 90% of those games, close call, last minute goal, Mane getting booed to the head. And that overlooked and overshadowed 60% of playing dead and trash. Salah, nothing for 80 minutes in a game. Come up with 2 last-minute goals. We're like, oh, he's the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, yo, it's 90 minutes, son. And for 70 minutes, we were dead. I got Carpe Diem tatted on my biceps, bro. And people be like, yo, that seize the day or seize the opportunity. I'm going to break it down for you. You can seize the day by seizing 8 out of the 10 opportunities. So you did miss 2 opportunities. If you're seizing every opportunity, you'll be on 10 out of 10. Yo, let's be fair. We haven't been seizing every opportunity. Let's just be fair. So right now, the way I'm starting to deep it, I might have to start backing Klopp. Not because I'm backing him, but yo, because Linders is looking a little sus. Hear me out. Jamie, it might be your effect, and we have to do another show, me and you, because every time I talk and you're on the stream, I come with the wild one. Hear me out.
Cool.
What if Linders is undercutting Klopp?
Could be.
Just to get in his spot. I mean, dropping a book. Shouldn't you be doing other things like researching patterns of play? Getting the message through to the players, because right now the message is looking sus. Like Klopp is saying one thing and the guys are doing something else. Look at Milner versus VVD. Does Van Dijk look like a guy that's taking orders from the top, or is Milner got to be like, yo, if you ain't gonna listen to them, man, listen to me? That's what it's looking like right now.
Mm.
So, as far as advocating for FSG, bro, they own the thing. They can see what's right and what's not right. And if they put a man in charge and a man in charge is saying it's good, they ain't gonna do nothing. If they put a man in charge and his second is undermining him and creating some friction, they're just gonna be like, yo, let the best man win.
Mm.
And right now, the best man is looking like Pep, and that's mad sus. Yo, you're number 2. You should hold number 2. You know what I'm saying? If Klopp says hold my bag, don't leave it there and be like, oh, I thought one of the players was gonna pick it up.
That's a fact.
That's a wicked analogy.
That's fact.
No, I mean, look,
So
it's
that's
true,
so that's
man.
what it's looking like right now. So right now, I'm telling you, Pep is looking sus, but I can't help but think maybe this is a mastermind from Klopp. Because 1 minute we got the players, 1 minute they're world class, and then the next week it's like, oh man, I'm getting mad smoke. Let me tell them about the insufficient funds in the FSG account. Yo, we spent 96 mil on a striker. You know how long we needed a striker? So we haven't gotten a decent midfielder since Genie left. And if you're gonna tell me Thiago is sauce, yo, y'all man is fiending. Yo, everything has an expiration date. Think about this. Best before, let's just say 30, right? Man has been at the highest and heights of his career. We got the back end. We got the scraps. This is what's left. Oxtail is the highest selling meat, and everybody that knows meat knows that the oxtail is the scrap. That ain't the tenderloin. That ain't the sirloin. That's not the center cut. That's not the T-bone. That's the scraps. But we just love the scraps so much, the stock of that scrap went up.
Facts.
Yo, Thiago has always been sauce, but trust me, that sauce is spoiled. This man got injured in the warm-up. You know, when you pouring out the ketchup and you get the little water off the top, that's what we getting.
The residue.
You gotta shake up that ketchup. So that's what we getting. So I don't know about you, but that top of the ketchup water, it don't taste too good on the hot dog.
That always looks like afterbirth to me. Fucking horrible.
I hate it.
That's what we got from Thiago. At Bayern, he was that fresh ketchup, fresh from the fields, man. We got the top water on that ketchup, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, look, what you're saying, I mean, it's difficult to go and disagree with it. I mean, you might have a different opinion, but you're right. I mean, if we looked at the amount of, what was it? Was it 2% or 3%, G?
2%.
It was 2% that we've actually invested, that FSG have actually invested back into signings, which is ridiculous. And I mean, I was never the one.
How much has gone into wages?
Yeah, that'd be interesting to actually look at.
That's the thing. It's not transfers. It's wages. So they give the thing a 2% in transfers because that's a click thing. So everyone will click through that and put their hate underneath the chat. But what's the actual percentage in wages? That's the one you should be looking at, not transfers.
The problem is you do that with the wages, but then you have to be very cutthroat when you're playing with your system in terms of, all right, well, Henderson, you've had your time spent, you're out. Or whoever, Verge, you've had your time spent, Milner, you've had your time spent, whoever it is, if they're not performing at the level that they were, you've got to get them out of the club really, really quickly because
we hold on to players too long.
But we can't exactly. But the fact that we're giving these players these wages, or we've renewed Milner's contract, we've renewed Hendo's contract, all of these types of things, that's why we're not competing at the level I spoke about in terms of the percentages. So even if the money's going into wages, then that's a misuse of finances. It is.
Yeah, totally right. You know what we are? We're a care home. Do you know how hard it is to get people into a care home? You literally have to wait for someone to die before you can get your mum and nan into a care home. Do you know what I mean? And that's what Liverpool are, because we don't get rid of anyone. We keep everyone here. We give them nice money, good asses, nice car.
But why though?
I don't know. Look, we had a Origi for 8 years. Why would Origi get the club for 8 years?
Don't even get me started.
It's just, I mean, Milner's been here since he was 30. He's almost 38 now. Henderson's been here 11, 12 years now. I never see Henderson leaving the club.
Same. That's what I've been saying, Jamie.
Hey, G, I got your answer, G. I think it comes down to ambition. And hear me out. Milner's content. Hendo's content. Mane is ambitious. Salah is very content. Trent is content. Klopp is content with Trent's performance. I'm telling you right now, a good manager looks at a player, great or not great, and goes, you got to put in an effort there. You're not putting, I got to make an example out of you. Content. I've been asking Jamie in his channel and a lot of the other fans, are they content with just being number 2? Coming up second, scraping top 4. That's not an FSG agenda. That's just the ambitions of manager, staff, and players. A lot of men are just content. Robbo's performance. Somebody's happy with them performance. The minute Simicast gets some ambition in his belly, he's going to be out of here. I'm telling you that right now. Origi was content with just coming off the bench every 15 games for 3 minutes. The minute he was no longer content, he's like, nah, man, I got to do something. He left. He could have been left. And then Klopp with his snake attitude talking about, he had a better manager. So you're saying you're not a good manager. You're identifying the fact that you have the same flaws I've been pointing out when people talking about what kind of weed I'm smoking. Well, newsflash, I ain't even smoking 3 months. I ain't even smoking 3 months. And I'm deep in it. I'm like, yo, Klopp overachieved. Simple as that.
That I've said, yeah.
Overachieved. And now he's like, damn, he can't keep it up. It was never sustainable.
Yeah. And the thing is, that's the one thing that I've always said in regards to the system, everything, the way that we play, the way that we do the model. It's not sustainable at the top level. It's just not, because you're looking at it, and as you said, it's being content. Like the fact that we're finishing 1 point behind City, 2 points. If it was 20 points behind City every year, you could be like, and we were second. It's like, oh, okay, I mean, that's just our level, and we can't get to that level. Clearly, whatever we're doing in terms of whether it's running or just motivating, we're getting to that level. We're getting to that 90 point. But if you're missing out by a point every time, you have to look inwards. You can't look at and be like, oh, it's just because City are better. Because those points, when you look at it, it's like, oh yeah, you could have just, if Trent had worked harder, you might have won that game. But instead we drew because he let his man get away and they equalized, and you know. And
you know, the only thing I would say about Trent, not like to bash him or anything, he's a great player.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to think like leaving him at right back is just soothing Trent's agenda and his legacy. Like, think about it. He occupies right side midfield position. So just get a decent right back and be like, yo, Trent, I don't care what you won, what record you was going to break at right back. That's over. You're already in the right side 8. So just get a decent right back and be like, yo, that's you from now on. If you don't like it or can't make it, guess what? Scouts or no scouts, you out of here, big man.
I agree, but Klopp won't change it. That's the problem.
Yeah, but it's not even that, Jamie. We've had this discussion on the show before, right? If his awareness is poor at right back, imagine putting him in that 8. I can't see.
Well, the thing with that though, you got. Like, if you've got someone a bit more advanced in midfield and you've got 2 DMs behind you, it's not so much of a problem. So, but when he lets people in behind him at right back and they've got no one to cover him. At the moment, Joe Gomez is dead, right? Joe Gomez don't work, right? And you've got Gomez and Trent next to each other on that side of the pitch, and both of them can't defend at the moment. So they know Trent is always at his best when he's got like a Matip or a Konate next to him that can cover the ground, especially Konate. Konate can cover the ground and cover Trent's area. What I hate is that we need to shoehorn midfielders in to cover Trent's runs. And that irritates me because that shouldn't be their first thing they do. You know, if we're all for Trent getting forward and constantly getting forward and we accept that he ain't great defensively because what he gives us going forward, fine. But there's becoming an issue now because we've gone behind 8 times in our last 9 matches. And they're all going down Trent's side of the pitch to get them goals. I know what Bournemouth are going to do. Bournemouth, they're just training all week. Low block, 4, 5 at the back, 4 in front, and a 1 and a 1. And when we get our chance, we'll counter-attack and get someone in behind Trent, and we'll get our goal. That's how they work. That is how everyone plays against us now. And it's becoming an issue. And the thing to do, Klopp's got to change it. But then I've seen on Twitter today the league team that'll probably play on Saturday. Nothing's changing. It's exactly the same team. Bobby's
Jamie,
playing, Trent's
Jamie,
playing. No
what's-
change.
What's frustrating me, right, is cool. The last 3-4 years, we've applauded our pressing and whatnot. It's brought us to 2 big honours. But when you don't have the personnel to keep replicating that system, you know you're up against pace. It's happening in the last 3 games. You had that Cabano and Reed guy for Fulham. You had Zaha and Eze for Palace, and you had Rashford. We've potentially revived the career and a season in Rashford and Sancho. It's crazy. But
Anyone with pace will score against us.
exactly, and Klopp needs to have the tactical now. It's cool. You know why it makes sense to even drop the high line? Because the reason why we have the high line is because we press. We're not even pressing. So what's the point of having the high line?
You can't press with old legs.
But the thing is as well, remember, as Jerry said before on the previous stream about the whole data and percentages and stuff like that. Remember with the high line, they were basing that off of how VAR used to work.
Yeah.
VAR and the offside
their way now, isn't they?
now. Yeah. So the way we do things now cannot be the same way we've been doing things because it's different now. The rules have changed. Like with Rashford's goal, they were saying that before that basically would have been offside, but now that we class as onside. So we need to change something in that because we can't keep playing that high line. Because
why don't we just let teams come on to us? Why don't we just let teams have possession of the football play counter-attacking football?
Problem is, you go and do that. There's certain teams that we come up against, like Bournemouth. You're saying come on to us. They won't come on to us. They won't.
Give them the ball. Just give them the ball. Don't play.
You can give them the ball. But what I'm trying to say is that what you don't want to do is come back onto the edge of your box because it's still the Premier League. What's going to happen is that these teams are going to go and get off a shot, do a little 1-2 in the box and score. So you need to get out. The reason why you like your Bournemouths, your Aston Villas, your Norwiches when they were here, the reason why they did really well was because they sat in that low block but couldn't really get out. And they didn't have the ability to go and get out. And
their legs tired eventually.
Your legs get tired. And for that, anyway, you need legs in behind. When you think about it now, apart from Diaz, really, have we got pace in behind like that?
Well, Salah still got it, but Salah saves it now, don't he? And what I don't get with the Salah situation at the moment, what's irritating to me is that Salah plays really wide now, right? Really wide. And Trent plays more inside than Salah does.
Yeah.
And when was the last time Trent overlapped Salah?
Good point, Jamie.
Literally.
Good point. Let me answer that for you. So here's the thing with Salah, right? You guys can come for me. Y'all been coming for me since I was smoking weed. Salah lost us the league. I'm going to tell you why. He wasn't even passing to Mane. So he had a long time off. I don't know what he was smoking or drinking, but he looked back and be like, damn, should have been passing to Mane. Now he's trying to do this creative winger thing. It's not working, bro. We'd rather you be selfish because you're the only outlet we got. Yeah. When you asking a man like Diaz, who's not even getting an overlap, to drag the team by its head, no wonder Mane was dragging us by the head. Salah head is gone. Now he's on big. I haven't seen Salah played for the new money he's on. Why did we even give him that money? I was a big advocate, like, keep him where he's at or tell him bye.
Yeah.
I knew the productivity was going to drop. And it's not even about Trent overlapping him. Trent never really overlapped him that much. It was always Hendo doing the overlapping.
Yeah.
Trent never really overlapped him. So for us to ask Trent now to go overlap him, Trent is looking at us and Klopp and Pep like, are you mad?
Do you know what?
When since I've overlapped this brother? Never.
Do you know what? Gomez...
Because he scored 2 goals, it's all forgotten. The fans won't realize what you just said. Because he's still inevitable when he scores the goals. Fans aren't thinking like that. But you know what? I didn't think that before. Now he put it like that.
Salah cost us the league. You know how many times man was in and he's trying to do the most? The games we draw and lost, if you go watch them back right now, matter of fact, y'all might just write the posters, Salah out. I'm telling you, go look at every point we dropped and watch what Salah did in them games.
The game against Brentford, when he's 1-on-1 with the keeper, and he could just easily score, and he sort of lethargically put it over the bar, and it was like, then he went.
But do you know what it is? Do you know what you got the problem? Do you know what the problem is though? Is that
number 9?
Although we're relying on Salah to go and get goals, goals isn't the only thing that Salah can provide. And the problem is, it's not now, because now he needs to be an all-rounder. If you look at why De Bruyne is so important to, yes, it's a different position. It's all-round.
He's an all-rounder, yeah.
Getting you assists. He's influencing the game in different ways. And with Salah now, because the team isn't the way it is, and you haven't got a man that's going to score you loads of goals. Nunes isn't firing yet. If you look at Salah, look at those first 2 opportunities he gave into Nunes. He has to go and stay. He has to stay wide to open up the game. If you look at the wide players for City, if you look at the wide players that were at Barcelona, you're talking about possession-based teams. We're having 70% of the ball. They have to stay wide to create the ball. Henry speaks about himself. At Arsenal, he could do whatever he wants. He was coming inside, getting goals. That can't just be his role because he's a winger. Unless we move him forward. But we've seen.
No, that's what I see. He needs to play number 9, Jerry. He needs to play number 9.
That's my point. But when he plays down the centre, he's not good enough because he drifts out wide anyway. So that's why we need Nunes.
Jerry,
we need Nunes to score now. We need Nunes.
That's what I was telling you with Salah.
Nunes will score goals. I ain't worried.
The thing is, he's not doing anything different. The only difference now, when he has a dead 70 minutes now and he doesn't come up with 2 goals, now he's being found out.
Yeah.
In the past, he was being saved by them little last-minute Alisson kick over the top. He runs through and poke it past the keeper.
But that's all.
He's always had dead performance. Most of the game.
He's had a lot.
Most of Salah's game, he is dead, non-effective, does nothing in the game. Mane is looking at Klopp like, "Yo, why you taking me off?" And my man has been dead over there.
Yeah, no, exactly.
He's inevitable, as Rom said.
But the thing with Mo is, I would literally play number 9.
Guys in the chat, please just keep it respectful as well. Listen, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. You can have a different opinion. Yeah. You can go and have different views and stuff. But let's just get away from that type of stuff, because I know for a fact I've said loads of stuff that you guys don't agree with, and I don't get that type of abuse. So no one that comes on this platform should get that either. So please, just keep it cool. It's a space for everyone to voice our opinions, and that's the whole thing. It's real. So just as you guys are being real, you can disagree and give you a reason why, but let's not be abusive about it. But sorry,
exactly. I was just saying with Salah at the moment, I just want Mo to be a goal scorer. I'm not actually bothered about him creating or anything like that. I just want him to be a goal scorer. I just want Mo to score 20 plus goals every season and not worry about anything else. So if that's the case right now, I'd play him through the middle. I literally look at Mo's skill set, and I do think if he played under Pep Guardiola, he'd play through the middle. He wouldn't play out wide. I think he'd play through the middle. Now, he's going to drift out wide a little bit because it's his natural game, but his starting position will be in the middle compared to being starting position out wide and then coming inside. So, and the way we're playing at the moment, Bobby doesn't work. I mean, Bobby plays CDM against bloody who is it we lost to? Man United. He played on the halfway line the whole match. So he can't play against Bournemouth against a low block because the Bournemouth defenders would be like, "Oh, we ain't got no threat with Bobby because he's playing alongside Jordan Henderson." So we need an outlet. So Mo can be the outlet through the middle. Just play Mo through the number 9. Change it up a bit. They're not going to expect it either.
No one to play right. Like
I'll just play Harvey on the right.
But he doesn't. He can't do the role that we are.
Yeah, we just have to change it up. Just change it up.
But this is it. It's like there's too many.
Mo ain't doing a role at the moment.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, very true.
Mo ain't doing. Or you just play Salah through the middle, and you play Carvalho off the left and Diaz on the right. Just change it up a little bit. Just change it up a little. Make the opposition think. Because at the moment, Scott Parker knows Liverpool's starting 11 and how they're going to play. And then on match day at 3:00 Saturday afternoon, they turn up in the game and like, this ain't what we trained for. Yeah. Salah's playing on the right. Diaz is in the middle. Diaz is on the right. Carvalho on the left. It just changes it up a bit. Makes the opposition team think. Yeah, that's what we need to do.
I think the problem you've got, though, is that, as you said, is when Salah, it's a fair point as a three mates. When you score goals, it doesn't really matter what you do. It doesn't matter. When Jota scoring goals, no one spoke about his hold-up play. No one spoke about his hold-up play.
No. That's how I jump in. Me and Montfort.
You might have, but the general consensus didn't do that. If he scored 40 goals, in the league, it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is, regardless, goals. If you're getting goals, essentially goals win games. So the rest of your gameplay can go out the window. You look at people like Soldado, Negredo, that back in the day, when they got their goals, Immobile, you get some goals. No one says anything about.
Because goals are currency. They're the main things you want to see.
The problem is that, and this is the problem I've got with Salah. He can't play down the middle because he's most effective with his runs from out to in.
That is very true.
Out. If he starts from in and moving outwards, he's going to be away from the goal even more so, because he can't make just straight runs. He's got to start somewhere. So he has to start out wide and make his runs inside. The problem is that area is too congested, because, as you said, Trent's not going to go and bomb forward. He's not going to overlap, because, to be fair, Trent's delivery on that delivery to the byline, he's not as good as people say. He's better from deep. He's better from that right hand side.
Yeah. Most of his assists aren't near the byline. That's very
he's great getting to the byline and drilling the ball across. So when you think about it, he just drills it along the floor. The ones that the greatest assist he gets is when he's in that right hand side pocket. The problem you've got then, though, is that you're asking your midfielder, and we've always asked our midfielders to be more industrious. Whether it's Feeney, whether it's Henderson, whether it's Milner, whether it's Keita, whether it's changing Jones there, even Elliott now. Look at Elliott's positioning, and we've done it on the tactics board yesterday. He's in that right-hand side channel, and he has to cover the space. Yeah. Why? Because you've got this world-class ability from that channel playing that ball across. But what happens when you focus on that too much, and you've got that ability, nothing works. You're stuck because there's no flexibility. Trent's not going to tell you, know what, I'm going to go down the wing this time. I'm going to go down the wing. I'm going to take it here. Or Salah, when he used to do the out to in run and last season, I used to complain all the time saying, why don't you stay out wide? Because the whole pitch is congested. We're doing it on twos and it's not working. You're trying to take these shots. They're getting blocked. You need to stay out wide. If you look at City, the wingers stay really, really wide and give the midfielder space to go into. But that's a system problem. And you've alluded to it. Getting a Bellingham, getting a this player, a that player isn't going to go and change it, because they're going to have to fit the system that we play. And the system is the most important thing of what's going on. You said it yourself. Whether we have a Nunes, whether we have a Thiago, we have to change the system in order to be able to break down these low blocks. That's what it is.
I totally agree. I mean, I'm looking at the players we've got available, and I think we can change it up more than people think we can. I think that if Klopp just goes normal 4-3-3 against Bournemouth with the same team, basically, it's just he's better than that. Surely Klopp is better than that. If he's not better than that, then he's overrated as a manager. Because if he knows there's issues and he's playing the same issues constantly that ain't working, he's either overrated as a manager or he trusts these players far too much to get himself out of trouble.
Jamie, that's not even just football. That's life. If you keep getting a result you don't like, you have to change something to get a different result. It's not even. It's just common sense.
Now, if Gomez was fit,
everybody,
was fit, he'd play right back, wouldn't he?
You can go back and forth in terms of tactics, all of that, blah blah blah. None of us can affect that anyway. So, what is the real key issue here? Because there is a clear issue that's going. It's either the players, it's either as Zabiri said, it's the manager, and there's something wrong, because this cannot continue. We can't be sitting here game week after game week for 2-3 years saying the same thing. How can we see it? How can we? We're just fans. Let's be real. We're just fans. We're just people who analyze the game maybe a bit differently. What is the key?
The key issue is stubbornness, bro. That's literally the answer. Is literally stubbornness.
Yeah.
I got one better, Rams. The key issue is insanity, because by definition, it's doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Look how many times Hendo do that backstick cross and no one is there.
Yeah.
No one is there. Look how many times Trent put a peach in. When I mean peach, I'm talking about if you're a striker, you went to bed dreaming about that pass. But guess what? We don't have that guy in the box because Bobby's on the halfway line. And that's where he should have been.
I was so pissed off. Trent kept playing that ball too.
Trent is playing his game, and I respect him for it, but it's still insanity. He's like, I'm going to show you my quality, whether a man is there or not, because what he's doing is quality. No one is there. No one is making him runs. So is it following the same instructions to no result, or is it constantly ignoring the right instructions and coming up short? Because I'm telling you, I can see a disconnect between Klopp and the players every single game. Watch Mo pass. Watch Mo non-pass. Watch certain runs. Klopp is there like
Klopp shouts at Trent. Klopp shouts at Trent more than any other player on the pitch continuously. He's always.
I mean,
having gaps.
I'll give Trent the benefit of the doubt and say maybe that's the side, the at the byline Klopp is at. I'm not quite sure, but I'm just gonna use that because Trent, my guy, I'm gonna back him a little bit. But what I'm trying to say, Jamie, look at some of the passes the other players make. I'm not sure if you're getting the cut to Klopp. When I see the cut to Klopp, he's there like, what was even that? Like,
Oh
what
yeah.
was that?
I don't get what's going on there. Yeah.
He's looking like, wait a minute. So we worked on this and said this is the final piece, and you changed my final piece.
Then drop him the next week. But he plays him
That's
again,
what
they
I'm
do it
saying.
again,
He's
and
not
that's the
doing
problem.
that, Jamie. So obviously he's like, look, I know you guys are breaking down the last piece of my masterpiece. I know you guys want to put your little spin on my little seasoning, but it's not working. But guess what? I trust you to keep doing it, and you're gonna do it. And they keep changing it. So I know there's a disconnect. I don't know if Klopp got the master tactics and Trent just want to improvise, or another man want to improvise. But I'm telling you, he's looking confused. Like, we worked on this. That was flawless until you, the player, changed it.
I mean,
That's how Klopp is looking.
The problem is what you're working with, and what Klopp's always worked with is, first of all, is always being the underdog in every situation. If you look at Dortmund, if you look at Mainz, if you look at all these teams,
he loves
they've never been the top dog. Klopp speaks about himself when he says, oh my God, this is the first time that I've got in a player and I don't have to get rid of my players to the highest bidder, because Liverpool are at the pinnacle, right? You look at that the book that Pep Linders has brought out, and he speaks about it just blatantly. He says, oh, Liverpool of today isn't Liverpool of tomorrow. The way we go and operate is on intensity. It's about doing stuff out of the ordinary within the system. Having that bit of Salah can do something creative within our system, and because our intensity is there, we're going to hound all these players. And Trent can just deliver a ball out of nowhere and can create something out of nothing that's away from the system, being an individual away from the system. The problem is we rely too much on winning second balls, intensity, and running. It's killed the legs of our players, so our players can't keep doing the same thing. They can't keep doing the same thing. Mane goes and comes out, BBC Africa, go watch if you haven't watched it, guys, and says his move to Bayern Munich is the best decision of his life, because a year prior to that, he was sitting with a therapist talking about, why am I not performing at the level that I was? Well, clearly because things are stale. You're doing the same thing over and over again.
Insanity. Hashtag insanity. I didn't want to say this here. I was going to say tomorrow, but I'm telling you right now, anybody that buys that Pep Linders book, you're a snake and you're supporting a snake. Because I'm telling you why. This man dropped the book Insanity. This man dropped the book Insanity, right? Or Intensity, whatever it is. Intensity never really won us the game. It was moments of magic. And you're telling me we're relying our whole winning mentality on moments of magic that tell me there's no strategy. We're just going to run.
The thing is, what it is, though, is that when it comes to intensity, it does win you games, but there's evidence for it. So, great example I used in the last stream yesterday, and guys, check it out because it was a really, really good one as well. Against Barcelona in the Champions League semi-final, first leg at Barcelona, we had more possession, more passes, we dominated them. We played better than Barcelona did. We played better than them.
It was actually a really good game.
We lost 3-0, but we lost 3-0, right?
We lost to Messi.
Yeah, no, we lost to Messi, but we lost 3-0 regardless. We go and play back at home at Anfield. How do we win that game?
By unleashing Genie.
Yeah.
Genie was on a leash for time.
Yeah, but guess what? It was a motivation. It was intense.
It was more intense.
It was Henderson pressing like a madman. It was Shaqiri pressing like he had never had before. Origi pressing like he never had before. Someone that we called as fans, we called them lazy. So in situations like that, of course it does. And that's why when you're the underdog, it's easy to go and get motivated to go and play City. If Klopp can spin the underdog narrative, it's easy. The reason why it is because you're not expected to win this game. So go out and do it. Leave it all on the line. Press with your lives. Show us that hunger, the passion. Do it for the fans. All these types of non-tangibles, these are what can get you across the line. And if someone gets overwhelmed by that, it's very, very difficult to beat. Because you're right, how do you really beat intense? If I'm more intense than you, then you can't really beat my intensity. But the difference is that coaching and skill and technique are still imperative, because you can't rely on that type of intensity for a 38-game season. So we've seen it on cup runs. We do really well. We've done really well. Do you know what I mean? When we've been behind in games, we've done really well. But to do that for 38 games a season, you need to be much more measured and controlled. And we've tried to go and do that because we've tried to add the navigator in. We've tried to add the Thiago in. We've tried to put Curtis Jones into midfield that was more adventurous. We've tried to put Elliott in now. We've tried to build that more of control within our team. But the problem is we're not that way inclined as a team. That's not Klopp's DNA, to be a control. He likes that heavy metal gegenpress football, as Roms alluded to last season. And that's the problem. We're caught in between the two now, where we've got Pep Linders saying intensity on one hand, but then we're buying players like Thiago that don't really fit the idea. When you think of intensity,
and that's why, Jerry, big up yourself. That's why it's not necessarily the system, it's the personnel. But the luxury players we like, we can't then have in our system because it's not going to cater to them. It's going to be to our detriment in the long run. You need the kind of boring industrial players because this system can still work, but you're going to have to get them industrial players. And us as fans don't always want that. We want the Thiagos, we want the luxury players, and it's like a
when we had Genie, it's like Roms. When we had Genie, many of us and many a person was talking about how we want Genie gone. He passes sideways, isn't good enough. Now people on Twitter are dropping compilations of what Genie was doing and how he was so amazing and compared to
Jerry, I think most people on this panel will agree. If you don't understand football, you're just gonna shut it down. Like, no, we don't. We miss Genie more than we miss Mane. Facts.
Yes.
I don't think we missed him last season. I don't think the season would have been any different if Genie played last season.
I think it would.
We would have still finished on 91 points and lost the Champions League final and lost that would have still happened. Genie ain't making that a difference. But when we miss Genie is when players are unreliable. That's when we miss Genie.
Jamie,
so when we're having times like this, we miss him. No one said last season we missed Genie.
I did.
Because it's madness to say it. We didn't.
No,
I did.
Jamie, I'm not even saying this. I did as well. Let me tell you why we did, Jamie.
Mad to say we missed him last season.
Let me tell you why you did, Jamie. I'm going to ask you a question. What opposition did a lot of Genie's goals come against? The top opposition. The double against Barca. He scored goals against Chelsea.
He wouldn't have scored against that. He wouldn't have scored against Real Madrid. Because the thing is, though, he would have been the same as every other player, dead on his arse by the time we played the Champions League final. Because everyone was dead on their arse.
He was actually an anomaly. He rarely got injured.
Salah was dead on his arse. Mane was dead on his arse. Everyone was dead on their arse. The whole team was dead on their arse.
Correction.
Everyone was dead.
Correction there, Jamie. As a quick, I'm a Genie fan, man. Check this out.
I don't even like Genie. I don't get it.
Mane and Salah was dead in that Barcelona comeback. It was Genie 2 goals, Origi 2 goals. And to Ram's point, Genie goals came against the top opposition.
Yeah, but
because that's when Klopp is like, Genie, please do your Holland magic for us today. And that's exactly what he go out and do.
But
Genie only gets lets off the lead against the top dogs.
One game in his Liverpool career.
No. We beat City 1-0 because of Genie.
I don't get this cheat.
Genie has won big games for us.
But do you know what it is? One thing I will say though is even though Genie's his small collection of goals that Liverpool did come up against the top position, which is fair, he didn't score as much as he should. So I agree with Jamie. The problem is, and I'm speaking from a football perspective, what Genie brought to your thing was press resistance, and he retained possession of the ball. As soon as we got countered, he'd win the ball high up, and we kept it in the opposition half. You look at all of our goals that we've conceded this season, as an example. It's what happens. We go and try play a forward ball. We lose the ball, whatever it is, a long ball, a short ball. We lose the ball. The ball's in no man's land. Henderson, Milner, whoever tries to get on the ball, and we get cut open. The difficult thing that Genie did was to retain possession. It's why he was so imperative to our season. It's why when we brought in Keita couldn't displace Wijnaldum. Jones couldn't displace Wijnaldum. Thiago even couldn't displace Wijnaldum. And whether it's for injuries, whether it's for whatever it is, they couldn't go and do it. And that's why he was so important. It wasn't about doing the flashy stuff and going and getting goals and creating. It's not about that. It's when we're playing this industrial type of football, you need players that keep the ball. And especially now when we've got more possession of the ball. That's even more imperative. Because you look at before we got Genie, we were a very counter-attacking team. But we didn't have possession of the ball like that. When Genie comes into the pitch, the reason why Genie's really good is because the Dutch players in general keep the ball really well. They and they understand the different positions. Robbo was at his best when Genie was there. When Genie was on the left-hand side, Robbo was at his best. Thiago's come into Liverpool, great. But Robbo hasn't been at his best since Genie.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Thiago's been amazing for us, of course, because Thiago, in the games that he plays, he's got that world-class, unrivaled ability on the ball, creatively, be able to play a pass from nowhere. That Genie doesn't provide that. But what Genie provides, though, is being able to keep possession of the ball. And we've seen it. Hendo couldn't do it. Milner can't do it. Elliott can't do it. Keita can't do it. All these players can't do it. And now Thiago's so important to our system because he's got that, as we spoke about, even if it's a bit watered down. And he keeps the ball and he's got retention of the ball because he's that good. Problem is, he's not available for 38 games a season. So we now rely on a player who's so imperative to our season, but he's not available yet again.
I agree with what you say, but the reason I'm saying we didn't miss him last season in the Premier League especially. Played 38 games, won 28, draw 8, lost 2, scored 94, conceded 26. Right? We didn't miss him last season in the Premier League, looking on them stats at all.
But Jamie, what I'm saying is that
this season we do because of the injuries. That's what it is.
Of course, yeah. On the face of it, now we need the body. So even when I'm talking about needing a player, and I think Zubiri, Roms, just get anyone in, even yourself, get a body in because we haven't got a body. Fact. But we missed Genie in games, and what I mean by that, if you look at some of the chances we created, or the games where we didn't have control of the game as much as we wanted to, that's what Genie provides.
I get you. Look, I get you. I like Genie and what he did. Yes, I'm just not one of these guys who.
And you have to understand, we're world class, and we're world class. So I'm not talking about we're missing him as in if we miss Salah, we're going to drop off, or when we miss Van Dijk, our whole defense falls apart. So no. But having a player in your team that can keep the ball the way a Genie does, and I'm not talking about Genie, it's whoever. Busquets does it for Barcelona. The reason why Busquets in that Barcelona team, and they've tried to displace him with Pjanic, they tried to displace him with Vidal, they tried to displace him with every other player, Sergio Roberto, Pedri, everyone. But do I mean anyone that's tried to go and get, they've tried to go and displace him. But the reason why he's there is because no one keeps the ball better than him. And when you're a possession-based team, that's the most important thing.
But last season, Last season wasn't a problem for that low. Last season wasn't a problem for that low.
It's in this minute details in the games, Jamie. When you look at on the face of it, we're a world-class team. So I expect Salah, Mane, and everyone to go and destroy 90% of these teams.
But we had more possession. The only team that had more possession than us last season was Man City.
But it's where we had the possession. It's
we scored 140 goals.
Right. It's the threat we had in behind. It's the threat we had in behind. Because if
we do have a player like Genie, by the way, in our club right now, but he's just not being used, and that's Curtis Jones.
In regards to keeping the ball, yes. The problem is that clearly Klopp doesn't trust him, and I've said
it's retaining the ball. I don't think Curtis wins the ball back enough. And to your point, Jamie, what you're saying is fair.
Point,
that's a great point, but to back Genie just a little bit more. It's a great point, but Jones don't win the ball back enough, and that's what Genie does. And in the games that we either draw or drop points, we were almost press resistant, and out of our midfield,
you'll be surprised. Jones does win the ball.
I think Jones wins the ball back a heck of a lot. He just went.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna have to watch Jones again. I
don't think Genie won the ball back as much as people think.
No. It's not about winning the ball back.
Not as much
as
out
passes.
But he has.
Okay. I'll give it to Jones. Jones.
Cutting off passing lines, Jones doesn't do as much. But winning the ball, he does it up because he's a good presser. And I've seen Jones win the ball high up the field, what Genie used to do as well. So I do hear it, but you're right. Cutting off lines, not when I've seen Jones, is not the best because sometimes he commits too much. Then he creates space for the opposition to play. So I agree with that.
I just 100%. Think if Genie was here now in this Liverpool team, I don't think there'd be a difference because the problem is his legs would be gone as well because he'd been so overused. So that's what I'm saying.
Right about the legs. Right about the legs.
No, but the thing is, I agree with that. But that's why I'm saying we haven't replaced Genie. I'm not saying bring Genie back because he's not going to give you.
We haven't bought a midfielder since Thiago. It's mad.
Exactly. But we need that profile
as well.
By the way, I've got a big shout for you. We should never have bought Thiago, and it was a mistake.
I'll back you, Jamie. I'll back you, but I'm going to save you. I'm going to save you right now, Jamie. I don't want the heat to be on you, so I'm gonna say
fuck
something
it, bring
wild.
it. I don't give a shit.
I'm gonna
But no,
say
we
something
should've-
wild to save you, so the heat is on me. Check this out, guys. I watch Man U play, right? 90% of my friends are Man U fans. And I'm watching the game, and the team is dead. But there's one player who got legs for days, who
Fred.
doesn't stop running, who pulls out the magic every now and then.
Fred.
Hello, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And I'm looking at that little guy, and I'm like, you're at the wrong club, buddy, because you're exactly what we need in our midfield. His legs is, I don't think they get tired.
He doesn't tire. It's true.
And that's why no matter what they do over there, that guy's name is on the team sheet.
Really, I've always said,
last season was Man United's best player last season, Fred.
and this is what I'm saying.
I would say
I've always said Zabir and Jamie. What Zabir just said, Fred's at the wrong club, because when everyone rival fans, we're gonna do what we do. Oh, Fred's this, Fred's that. But deep down, I've always known
He's a presser.
you're a good player.
He's a presser.
You're just in the wrong system
What's
at
up?
the wrong club.
Yo, we need a Fred. And if we bought Fred when Genie left, I would have been calm.
Why do you think Fred plays for Brazil and Fabinho don't?
I've always wondered that. Yeah,
I wasn't
why-
gonna say
that is
Jamie.
why,
I
'cause
wasn't
Fred-
gonna say it. I was gonna say it, but I'm like, that's too much heat.
You need players in your team. I've always said this. That's why you are probably right with the Genie stuff. But you do need players in your team that might not have these amazing attributes, but they press for 90 minutes constantly because they've got great fitness and they're workaholics. And that's what Fred is. He might not be the most beautiful footballer in the eye, and that's why we was like the big out of him. But in reality, he works his arse off. He's a bit of an arsehole on the pitch as well. And he presses off the ball really well. And you put someone like Fred in Liverpool's midfield at the moment, people on the chat might be going, Jamie, you're chatting shit. But literally, Fred's attributes is what Jurgen Klopp loves in a midfielder.
Yeah. The problem is you've got is that we're gonna move on to obviously seeing how the Bournemouth game goes, because I know obviously it's been a madness. What's going on at our club is crazy, so of course we're always going to divulge. But is the problem you've got is we get a type of, if we try to keep going and getting these players that are very industrious and having legs, the outlay of the club is going to be really, really high, because the turnover of player has to be really high.
Has to be really high, yeah, exactly.
The only way you're able to go and stop that turnover of player, and if you look at Barca and they were able to go and do it, look how long Iniesta, Xavi and Busquets stayed together, is you have to play a possession-based football that's much slower, but it's very decisive. Problem is, like I said, that's not in Pep's and Klopp's DNA. So we can't go out and execute that as well. So yeah, we're trying to play that system when we're seeing it. We're having more possession of the ball. We're getting on the ball, and we're doing all this type of stuff. But we're not as good as doing it as a City. So as you're seeing, they keep pipping us to it, because it's like asking Klopp, it's like asking Pep to do this game press. He won't be able to do it like Klopp, because that's not in his DNA. And that's where the problem is. And that's where the problem is for me at the moment. But yeah, man. I mean, look, before obviously we'll run through the comments to big up everyone that's in the chat. There's 87 of us obviously in the stream as well. So please smash a like. If we can get to 80 likes as soon as possible, that will be amazing. Look, we've got Zabiru, we've got Jamie Phillips, we've got Ron G on it as well.
I'll bring everyone.
Yeah,
I'll put them in my community post.
As you said it, we went up to 93. So how about that? Big up, Jamie. But Bournemouth. Where do you guys, and let's start with G. Where do you see Bournemouth's main threat coming from?
Main threat, it's like Jamie said, to be honest. I feel like
Trent.
And I'm not even joking. It's going to be our weakest areas. As much as the midfield is obviously a problem, I don't feel like they possess that kind of ball quality in there. So I feel like they're going to look at our wing backs, because it's easier as opposed to trying to go through the middle, where we probably have enough players in there to maybe snuff that out. I feel like it's going to be in our fullback areas, where Trent is obviously always going walkabouts and doing whatever it is that he's doing. At the end of the day, like even listening to all this, like it's actually mad that we've been able to sit here for about over an hour to dissect something that, if I'm being totally honest with you, doesn't seem so complicated when you bog it down. Obviously, financially, fair enough, of course. I don't know the finances, so I don't know how that would even work in terms of certain players, etc., etc. But listening to all of this, it does seem like the problem isn't that difficult to really solve for us to just become, as you like to say, like have a style that's a lot more conducive to be able to navigate through a 38-game season. But obviously, in regards to Bournemouth, I generally think it's going to be down our sides. I don't think they're even going to look at the midfield, the central midfield, and be bothered about it. Even if we play all the kids in the middle, I don't feel like they're going to worry about that. You'll get a lot more joy down our sides. Always, always, always. Whether it's Trent, whether it's Robbo, Van Dijk doesn't even look like he's on form. So they might even try and test him out a little bit. Maybe even try to isolate him so that he's out of the game, i.e. maybe have the forward just sit on him and move him out of the way kind of thing, so that they can focus on Trent a lot more. It's just silly, bro. Like, it's actually getting on my nerves listening to the fact that, yo, our Trent really and truly, but that down that right-hand side is becoming a defensive issue, like a real defensive issue. And going forward, we don't look pretty anyway. So I don't even, at the moment, I love Salah. He's my favorite player, but you ain't doing shit and you ain't helping coming back. And we can't have a Harvey Elliott because he can't do the defensive ability job that Hendo used to be able to do. So why are we still playing this style? I don't get it. Like, I genuinely don't understand why are we still playing this way. It doesn't make any sense.
Great. Yeah, it's difficult. Big up here as well. It's not even a rant. Big up, that's fact sheet. Anfield Analytics, big up Jack from there. Guys, make sure to check that out as well. On the
make sure.
Socials, because that's where we get all our data from, live, direct about proper catered and tailored to obviously our channel. So big up as well. Anfield Analytics saying, what about the first goal coming from a corner? Bournemouth have conceded the second most number of shots from corners, while Liverpool ranked first in shots from corners so far this season. That's a big fact. I mean, we were really good on set pieces last season. It seems as though.
Yeah, I think I'm going to carry on saying what you're going to say, Jay. This season, it seems like our centre backs are even scared to attack the ball.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's mad, but I mean, that's something that when you look at on the surface, maybe that's where we got our goal from.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at Bournemouth, doing some research. As I said, they've transitioned from being a kind of quite the back team. They've gone into 5 at the back. They haven't really, in the 3 games that they've played so far, they've actually changed their back 3 every single game. In the first game, even St. Lerma, the Colombian centre mid, playing at centre back. So what we're seeing now, it's getting to a point where they're dropping really, really deep, and they are playing that low block. And saw in the Arsenal and the City game, they're struggling to even get out. So when I'm looking at it, this might actually be the game where the cherries get popped. The cherries get popped. Jamie, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it should be, but
that's all right.
We've said this for 3 games. We've literally said the same thing.
I literally don't know what to say anymore about Liverpool Football Club at this moment. I'm not confident at all. I'm going to tell you right now, because I think no matter what people have been saying about him, his link-up play and all that, since he's been out, I think it's been very evident how much we miss Diogo Jota.
Yeah.
Diogo Jota is that player who's a nuisance in the box. I personally think he would have scored against Fulham and Palace because he's just that nuisance in the box.
You know what, Jamie? Just to add to that, I'll be honest, I'm not Jota's biggest fan, but he'll score out of nothing. That half chance,
exactly. No one else does that in our team. No one else does that.
Yeah.
And we've obviously Darwin Núñez missing. Darwin Núñez is a big miss. It was a big miss in the Man United game because he occupies centre backs. Yeah. You know, the only thing bloody Bobby Firmino occupies is his wife. You know, he just don't. The man's useless. I don't want to see him on the pitch. I don't want to see Bobby Firmino starting for Liverpool Football Club ever again. While he's at Liverpool Football Club, I don't mind him staying at the club and coming on as a sub and doing what he does as a sub to hold when we're winning games and he comes on to hold up the game and stuff like that. That's fine, but I don't want him starting games no more because he doesn't play up front. Because he's trying to do stuff he used to do when he was 27 years of age, and he can't do it no more. Father Time taps you on the shoulder. Happens all the time.
But
you don't realise it. But Klopp must know it because he just saw him play centre defensive midfield against Man United. You know, and I would personally put you guys. I was saying about Salah as number 9, but you guys are probably right. He should stay on the right hand side. If Carvalho can't start for Liverpool at Anfield against Bournemouth, When's he ever going to be able to start?
Right. Thank
When's he ever going to be able to start? I would literally go for midfielder, Fabinho, Elliott, and Carvalho in the midfield three. Let's have some dynamism. Let's have some athleticism. Let's have some young legs around Fabinho, because everyone knows my thoughts on Fabinho. The man's 28, but he looks 40. The man's got no mobility. Fabinho falls over all the time. Has anyone ever noticed this? Fabinho falls over all the time because he can't sort his feet out. He falls over every match because he can't sort his feet out. He can't sort his feet out. He's got mobility issues, and I'd have him around the younger guys. Get Carvalho on. Let him be saucy. Let him and Elliott do things. Give Elliott a bit of freedom. Elliott's a fine footballer, but you're holding him back by trying to make him something he's not. Give the man freedom. And then just play Salah down the middle, play Diaz off the right, and I don't know, whoever's available will play off the fucking left. I don't give a shit right now. It's just that midfield needs sorting. Play the young guns. And look, if Gomez was available, I'd be playing Gomez at right back as well. Because I think now, looking at Gomez, he signed that new contract. He's well behind Matip and Konate in the pecking order now. Way behind. So when I look at Gomez now, I'm thinking, the two best games he's played in the last 12 months are at right back.
Yeah.
And when he's played right back, he actually overlaps and he gets to the byline. And his crossing ain't that bad, really.
Yeah. So
why not? If he was fit, if we had another centre back fit, I'd play Gomez right back. But till then, we just got to play him centre back with Van Dijk, because Nat Phillips, I love the boy, but he can't play. No, I mean, it's Bournemouth be rubbing their hands.
I'm happy you mentioned the Fabinho just drop. When you've noticed something, you just haven't said it. There's times in the game, just try and think of Fabinho playing. He'll just drop. And I'm like, 1 minute you were unopposed. No one even was near you. You just dropped. But I agree with everything James said. I've been Carvalho's biggest advocate from the minute not even from the minute we signed him, from the minute we were interested in him in January. Jerry and G will tell you, and I've been calling for this. Every time he's come on, Jamie, he's been live and direct. He's been our brightest spot. Salah couldn't go off his rebound. He nearly scored a half volley against Crystal Palace. Start the game. What more does he have to do?
But it'll be interesting to see him start the game, though, because you got to understand. As much as I agree with you 100%.
You're right, G. It's a different
when
pressure.
he's coming. It's a different. He's coming on in a completely different game when he is coming on. There's a bit more space. He gets a bit more freedom. We're losing more often than not when he is coming on, chasing games. When he comes on, that role that I'm guessing Klopp's asking him to do is a totally different role than maybe what we asked from him when he starts the game. Will he have him doing? Because Jamie said it right there. I totally agree, bro. Like, as much as I get onto Harvey, bro, you're stifling the guy. You're actually stifling his creativity by putting him in a position that I don't even feel you're seeing the best of him. We can see glimpses, hence the reason why we keep saying, he's probably been our best midfielder, so to speak. But we're seeing glimpses. I need to see the real Harvey. I need to see the real Carvalho. We're not seeing
the funniest thing, G. Carvalho might start and get a goal assist, and Klopp will be like, that's your time done now. Just take him off. That's no.
Don't do that, Rams. Nah.
He might.
Here's the. Oh man, Rams, you messed me up because you're right. So here's the thing. We're talking about Carvalho and we're talking about Elliott. What about Jones? We've never seen Jones on leash.
Big up, Demo. This is Demo's guy.
Demo, meet myself as well. And this is the problem, and I think, and this is the problem I've had with just your Carvalhos, your Elliott, your Joneses. They're not getting a chance. If you're gonna have them in the squad, play them and see what they're about. Play them now that we haven't. I know Jones is injured, but now that we haven't got in, now that we've got so many injuries and we're falling away anyway, we're losing games anyway. Play Kovacic, play him, play Carvalho. Play him 2-3 games in a row and see what he's about. See what he's about. If he's not good enough, you'll know in 5 games. You'll know in 5 games whether he can cut out at this level or not.
My thing is, why did he? If he signed Carvalho, obviously, remember he signed him in January for this season coming. My thing is, you must have had a plan for this guy.
Did he sign him? Right?
Sign him and say, "Oh yeah, you know what? He's just going to come in here and do something." No, you must have said him coming here. There's a position for him somewhere, whether it's off the bench or whatever. He's got a position here.
Did he sign him though? Because Klopp obviously signed Elliott because Elliott plays every chance he's got, no matter how young he's been. Elliott was playing at 17.
Yeah.
He started him straight away. As soon as he came back from loan from Blackburn that season, he started the Premier League season. And he would have played a lot of games if he didn't get injured. Yeah. So that was a Klopp buy because Klopp loves Elliott. Curtis Jones barely plays. He's from the youth team. But I've always said it, Curtis Jones would actually be better in Man City's midfield than Liverpool's because Pep would let Curtis Jones be Curtis Jones. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And then with Carvalho would... I just don't see it. I don't think Klopp bought him.
I don't think Klopp that with certain players that you didn't buy all of these players.
The more technical you are.
Yeah, the more technical. Yeah.
Because he would have gone on loan. Because I was surprised Carvalho didn't go back on loan, right? Because of his age, first year in the Premier League. A bit like Harvey Elliott did, yeah? But they said they kept him and they wanted to keep him in the squad because he's... but bringing him on after 72 minutes against Man United... when you're watching Bobby Firmino getting the ball off your goalkeeper off a goal kick, and you wait 72 minutes to bring the young kid on, who made a massive difference once he came on, playing from the start against Bournemouth, when else you go play him? This is at Anfield against Bournemouth, probably ending up being the worst team in the Premier League this year, yeah? At home, 3 o'clock kickoff. When it's not on TV, so there's less pressure, less eyes. When you go get another chance to start him this season? Really? When are you? Because Milner's not working. Hendo's not working. Fabinho's not working. So you might as well just go. He's got to play Elliott. So Elliott's got to play. Fabinho will probably come back in for Hendo. And then just give the kid a chance. You got to play him off the left-hand side of that midfield three. It's perfect position for him because he can drift into them nice areas up there, like Coutinho used to when he played in that position. And that might help Diaz as well because Diaz might not have to run so bloody much.
The problem is, Jamie, what we've got now is obviously if we've trained pre-season in one way and we've focused all our efforts in the team in one way, going and changing this now in the season, we've seen it. Klopp's not going to do that.
No.
But other managers that we saw Conte when he came to Chelsea. What was his first 2 or 3 games? I think he even lost
every game.
And what did he do? He changed it. He said, "This isn't working."
Then they won the league.
And then they won the league, bro. It's not even like, they just came 4th and they scraped
it.
No,
what I'm saying.
Won the league.
If we can get our shit sorted, this league ain't over.
Yeah, of course.
City drop points. Arsenal's form ain't going to continue forever. Spurs don't look exactly great. Chelsea have already lost. So what I'm saying, we get our act together right now. Just change it up a little bit against Bournemouth. Get the 3 points. Get the 3 points against Bournemouth.
Yo, Jamie, that's wishful thinking. You know why?
Then we got to answer Klopp. Then Klopp's got a lot to answer for, hasn't he?
This is a free hit. And I hope somebody click this and send it to Klopp because this is a free hit. If you had a plan B or a plan Z, show us in this game. If you don't show us, if you come with us, if you don't come with whatever you was cooking up and it wasn't finished, just be like, yo, taste this and let me know what's needed. Taste this, let me know what's missing. Because if you can't put Carvalho in his 10 or on that left side, if you're gonna talk about injury crisis, bro, no football team is 15 players. You know that, right? So I don't care about injury crisis. That's why you have a squad. So when you come up on these so-called crises, it's your responsibility to have sufficient replacement. I'm not saying he has to be a 10 out of 10 player and you got a 9 out of 10 player on the bench. We're not asking for world-class replacements, but have sufficient replacement. And if you do, give them man a chance. How many dead games Robbo gotta have for the fans to say, let Tsimikas shine?
Oh, Robbo's brains descended, not like his legs. The man's gone. The man, Robbo's gone. But Klopp will play him. Tsimikas played some tremendous football while Robbo was injured last season, yeah? He was playing some top football. He was in great form. Robbo came back, went even 100%, and Tsimikas held bench, right? I don't know what... This is why I get annoyed with Klopp with, right? He's had very good squad players since he's been at Liverpool. He doesn't use them. He doesn't use them.
You're right.
He trusted. Look, Shaqiri, I know he got his injuries and all that, but when he was fit, Klopp didn't use him. And he was a talented footballer.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of players that Klopp just trusts. They're like his family. You know, they're like his family.
Yeah.
Henderson, family. Milner, family. Van Dijk, family. You know, they will always play. Salah, brother-in-law. You know, it's just it's that they are family to him. So no matter how dead they are, they play. It's a simple.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jamie. I'm gonna confess this. I was gonna save it for Kopish also, but I'm gonna tell you something. I was smoking a split. Right? And I'm watching Champions League final, the one we won against Spurs. I didn't have faith who was gonna win that game. Here's why. Without Harry Kane, Spurs was banging.
Yeah.
Once I saw Kane in the game, I'm like, yeah, we got this. The manager messed up. He switched tactic on the sole notion that Kane was like 70%. He said 70% Kane was better than the winning formula he had up until that point.
Yep.
Lucas Moura just got a hat trick. That was
bro. I'm telling you, that's when the first Klopp ain't it. That's when I first saw Klopp ain't it, because Klopp does the same thing, and that's when I start realizing managers' downfall isn't their lack of tactical nous or gameplay or in-game tactics. It's their loyalty to certain men.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot of managers' downfall, just rinsing a man just because, he's my deputy out there. Look at Man U. They bench Harry Maguire, Captain Maguire. Why? He lacks that defensive intensity. They beat us with intensity. And that's why I think Pep is a snake. He put out a book called Intensity, and every team can beat us with intensity. That's all I'm saying. I'm nervous against Bournemouth. If Bournemouth is on their A game, we'll lose that. But if Bournemouth shakes in any way, we'll eat them up, we'll dust them off. But if Bournemouth can just stick to the basics, stick to football, get their shape right, they can hit us on a counter or two. They only need two shots on goal.
Well, here's what's going to happen. Liverpool go start the game high, right? Have lots of the ball. Liverpool will have 77% possession by the 28th minute mark. 27 shots that have gone into the cop. And then Trent will then start spamming crosses from 35 yards out. Robbo will get to the byline and cross to nobody in the box. Then they will get a chance. They'll get the dead... Because we don't win the second ball back at the moment either. And that used to be a great asset. Yeah. We always won the second ball back. And the reason we're conceding goals is because our midfield is so dead with their legs. Their legs are gone. They're shot. So they can't do that counter pressing no more. Because we play high as a team. So when the defenders are on the halfway line and the midfielders are 20 yards away from the centre-backs, when they don't win the second ball back anymore and Fabinho's got no mobility to run backwards, then the back four are completely exposed. And I don't care how good of a player you got in each position in a back four. If your back four is completely exposed with teams running at you, you're in trouble. And that's what happens every single game for Liverpool at the moment.
Yeah, it's true, man. It's true. Let me just run through some of the comments before we get into score predictions as well, man. Big up the Don. The Don's first time in the chat saying, "How's it going, guys?" First time in the chat. Big up the Don. Appreciate tuning in. Big up Jamrock in the building. I've seen you chopping up with the man in the chat. He's saying, "Look, I keep hearing fans say give Klopp players that he trusts. He wanted Naby, Tsimikas, and other players, so you can't trust someone before they play for you." Yeah, that's fact. He then goes on to say, "Look, in Marquet, in fairness, that internal solutions has a caveat. He said he'll work with internal solutions if we don't get a player that is 100% the right player." He said we don't get a player that is 100% the right player with the right...
What is that? Does anyone know what the 100% right player is?
No idea.
But that's the problem. That's the problem. This is the problem, is that with Liverpool needing, like you said, to be able to win second balls, to do this, and as we're getting better, the profile of player that we need is completely different. So go and get a young Henderson or a young Milner or even a Genie, because it's like we need a Genie, but we also need a player that can also create. But then we need a goal scoring midfielder.
Klopp don't want that though. Klopp
And
don't
he's
want
the-
a creative midfielder.
No, but listen, but he needs to be a creative midfielder because he's playing an Elliott there. But then he also needs to go and be really defensively solid and be good at set pieces. Like we're trying to find this creative player that doesn't really exist. That it doesn't.
Yeah, it's almost like we're trying to find a player that, as you said, it does not. There is no right player. Just
Yeah, you know what?
You know who would have
That's
been
right,
perfect
G.
for us? You know who would be perfect for us right now? That's an all-rounder that could do everything. Obviously, he's stinking up the gaff at Villa, but our own legend, Gerrard, would have been perfect for this.
Well, 27-year-old Steven Gerrard, we're winning the Premier League, ain't we?
He could do everything.
Nah, you know
We need
what?
a player that
Klopp
can
is the
create.
problem. I'm convinced Klopp is the problem. Because
Same.
man went and got
I've been
Diaz,
saying this. I've been
and
saying
Diaz don't have the mentality. The red card he got
I'm not
was
sold on Diaz
so stupid. Are they looking back at his tape and be like, he never had that in him? Is it the pressure?
Thank you.
Because-
people act like he was playing no professional football prior to this. Like he was just some
So this
Sunday league
perfect
striker.
player is like a girl saying, "Oh, I want the perfect man." Yo, I'm telling you, I'm not a perfect man. Some people got me as whatever they got me as. Everyone got their own little thing. I don't know
You don't
what
think
they're
it's
looking
perfect.
for,
No
but
one's
if
fair.
you stick into a system or if you're trying to change the system, just get a man that works for that. Don't get me a creative midfielder and then be like, "Oh, you got to learn how to defense." I had a job, and the job requires my background, but 90% of the job was truck driving. So they're like, "Yo, can you go and learn how to drive trucks?" I did, and I did it for 3 years. But I'm like, "Yo, I'm more of a truck driver. That's not my skill set." So I ended up leaving the job. Yo, great job, by the way. Great job. I'm doing up TV. I'm meeting mad celebs. But I'm like, yo, I'm not a truck driver. But they needed someone with my background. So it's like, I'm deep in it. I think that's how they're buying players. They're buying players that have like the basic qualities, but then they're like, yo, we bought you for this. But guess what? 70% of your game is going to be about this other thing we're going to teach you. That don't work.
Jabiri, just to add to that point, Thiago said, Klopp taught me how to run. He come out and said, Klopp taught me
Do you
how
know
to run.
what? With the Thiago thing,
I don't want him to run though. That's the point.
Thiago might actually be. Do you know what? Thiago might actually be the player, because in my opinion, Thiago's our best defender in midfield. Right? He's our best defender in midfield, and if you ask Bayern Munich, they talk about that as well. You know,
That's how he gets injured, though, Jamie.
Thiago's
When I see
probably
him
our
go for
best
a side
defender.
attack, I'm like, no, don't.
Thiago's probably our best defender
terrible.
and our best creator.
But that's my point. Is that we
Mad,
now
ain't it?
rely on the breader that's not available. This is the
Mad, isn't it?
club.
Mad.
You can't.
We need basically we need 4 fit Thiagos for our midfield to work.
Effectively.
Yeah.
So, Klopp, if you see this, we need 4 Thiagos. If you
Just get
can
it
find
done.
me
Get
4
it done.
Thiagos,
Find it.
then we're good.
That's another thing, guys. Gravenberch, I think is it Gravenberch? I think Gravenberch and Basuma went for a combined 50 million.
Nah, Jamie, we can't talk about them right
no,
now.
I'm just saying. What I'm saying is,
I'll start getting mad. I
their
know, Jamie.
midfielders should be playing for us right now. I don't
There's a lot
understand
of
what
players
this
who should be playing for
100%.
us now.
I don't understand what this 100% player is. Who is he? Let us know, because I don't know who it is.
The timeline think it's Bellingham, don't they? The timeline think it's
No,
Bellingham.
Bellingham's 145 million. I ain't paying that for Bellingham. You having a laugh?
We're
Yeah,
never paying that.
exactly.
Forget next
I don't
summer,
wanna pay
this
that.
summer. That's just not getting paid.
No one's paying
This,
that. I'll be shocked
this is
if
what I don't
anyone
understand about the time. Obviously, it's the
Yeah,
timeline. So it's the timeline. Big up. It's the timeline
Chris.
anyway. So fair enough. But at the same time, I'm looking at it and thinking to myself, guys, you're talking about a guy who isn't Lionel Messi when he was 20, isn't Cristiano Ronaldo when he was 20, is not even close to being on an Mbappe level at that age.
He ain't Jamie
So we
Phillips
need
when
to
he's
get
20.
off this whole thing that this guy is coming into the squad to be this, you know what I mean? Like to be this kind of savior, like our Lord Savior. And I'm like, guys, he is not coming back to save us. I promise you that. So you need to kind of understand, like, as you guys have said, get a player who can just do the job that you're asking for instead of trying to find this 100% right. There is no such thing. There's no such thing as an 100% right player. That's just a made up term, man. It's annoying.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. If we do the same thing and win, like we've been doing and drawing and losing, does that mean we're okay? The players is getting up to speed? Or if we change something and lose, which one you rather see?
But you know what, Debris? There's the thing. Even if we change something and lose, at least we've tried. We've tried. We've tried to change something. We don't want to keep playing this way, getting the same results. But we've not even tried anything else. We've not tried to even change our results. You know what I mean? But I hear your point. Because to be fair, it's simple. If we was to change and then lose or it got worse, we then know, cool, we have to revert back to what we know and probably change the personnel. But we have to try, man. We have to, because if we carry on, we're going to be saying this to the end of the season. We've not changed anything. Do you know what I mean?
But that comes like the same thing that
risk. No risk, no reward. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I see it.
It's the same thing we say to people when people, obviously people tuning into our chat and people listening to Liverpool fans online, and we've been moaning about the same thing more or less the whole summer. We're not sitting here telling everybody that, I want to buy Kevin De Bruyne, I want to buy Jude Bellingham. No.
Yeah.
We're asking the board, we're asking Liverpool to try to do something different. I don't care how that looks now. I actually don't care, but you need to do something different, because what you've been doing previously worked up to a point. We hit that wall. Once you hit a wall, you kind of need to do something different now. You can't just keep doing the same thing. As Zubiri said, it's just insanity doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. It's not working. Try something different. Sorry, Rums. Even if you did say, as an example, you did go out and buy your Jude Bellingham for 100 and whatever. Cool. If that doesn't work, then okay, you revert back to your type of buying players for this amount, etc., whatever. I'm just using him as an example. But you haven't even tried. That's what's killing me the most. I don't care if we finish second, but we did everything we could. I can live with that. I can live with finishing second, knowing we did everything we could. But Man City they're just too good. I don't mind.
Fine. That's fine.
Team. They weren't even that good enough to be better, even though we know individually with some of their players were probably actually better than some of the Manchester United players. But guess what? They tried everything they could, so they can live with that. Arsenal fans ain't sitting here moaning about, we didn't win, 5 trophies back to back. No one cares about that. They tried everything they could within their power, and that's as good as they got. 3 Premier League titles and obviously second place a few times. We're asking for that minimum. You can't even do that as a minimum. What type of board is that? I don't want to work. I don't want to support a club that's under that kind of thing where they don't even try, and they get to a point and it's like, we're good with the money that we're making at the moment. So let's just
Just before you go, Jamie, it's quick. I said it earlier in the stream. This is a life lesson, not even just football. As humans, if you keep trying something and getting the results you don't like, you have to change so you get a different result. And it
keep on the same diet and you're continuously getting fat. What can you do?
Yeah, I brought that to the bedroom, Roms. Hasn't worked.
I apologize for any kids under the age of 18.
Oh dear.
Oh, Jamie never failed.
But you know what irritates me though about all this, I've said this in pre-season, all the kids played pre-season, the first teamers didn't.
Oh,
right. I said this in pre-season. Everyone told me, because I did all the pre-season watch-alongs, and everyone told me, Jamie, calm down. It's just pre-season. It doesn't matter and all that. And I kept telling them, no, none of the first team players are getting minutes. It's all the kids constantly, right? Are getting minutes. And I said, if none of these players that are playing pre-season right now are not in the squad against Fulham on the 6th of August, what is the damn point of doing this in pre-season? Then we come into pre-season, all them youngsters that are playing every bloody game in pre-season are now nowhere to be seen. And you're playing the first teamers that have got no legs, no energy and no fitness because they didn't have enough pre-season. You look at City, they played 3 pre-season games in total with the Community Shield, Every game they played, they had the first team out. Constantly. Man United had their first team out for every pre-season game. All right, the shit.
You know what, Jerry? You know what, Jamie? Jerry, I want you to do the accent as well. Say what Klopp said about Morton and then where he ended up. Please, I want you to do it.
Oh, you mean in pre-season when he's come out?
Number 8, weren't he?
Wow, Morton. Wow. Oh, good. Don't need him playing as a defensive midfielder. We don't. And he's like, wow, playing as an 8. has good technical ability, really, really good player. What happens? He gets loaned out.
We thought the way Klopp was speaking,
I thought
he
Morton
would
was
be
going to say.
in our squad. Yeah, we
I
thought he would be in our
squad.
squad.
And
Not starting 11, but squad.
it makes no
I was
sense.
looking at that, Roms. I was looking at that when he said this, guys. I was looking at that thinking, okay,
When Jerry
Morton's
first
gonna
done
be
that,
part of the midfield rotation now. He goes out on loan, and then we see Bajcetic come out of nowhere, and then he gets the contract. God knows what's going on. God knows what's going on. There's no actual plan. It's just we've got Morton now, so let's just deal with what we got here. And then they see Bajcetic play. He plays one game, and they're like, actually, snap.
You know what, Jerry?
And Tyler Morton plays centre back for Blackburn.
Centre back the other day. Imagine
they put
that.
a tweet out. The official club put a tweet.
Yeah,
you know
put a
what,
tweet out.
Jerry, if anything, that's one thing.
That's how you know clubs are trolling us.
What Klopp did in that situation, we kind of wanted to do with the first team players, because I truly believe Klopp thought, you know what, Bajcetic had his audition and he passed his. But Bajcetic had his audition. He passed his audition. He feels he's better than Morton, so he thought, you know what, you're my priority. That's what we want him to do with the first team players. So he kind of did what we wanted him to do with the players that have actually played for the club 2-3 years running. That's why I'll kind of give credit to Klopp. He probably thought Bajcetic was the upgrade.
But this team, I think, are still dead from last season's attempt to get the quadruple. I do think this team's still dead, and pre-season weren't long enough. That's why Klopp kept going on about this pre-season's not long enough. This pre-season, it's all about training.
This is the worst season to be tired, because you do know from next Wednesday it's every week. Days. That's a joke.
But guys, we've got to remember as well is that that's fine. They're entitled. The manager, the players, they're entitled to be jet lagged after the last 4 years, because we keep failing. If you kept trying to draw a thing in a nightclub and she kept telling you no, and you went to any other girl that's about, and you're trying to get to her, you're seeing the bird out, and you're like, can I get over it? And you're getting pied off. Of course, you're going to get disheartened by the 10th time that happens. Of course, you got to change something up. You got to change.
I did that different, Jerry. Jerry, I did that different. I just got the ugly bird as soon as she came through the door. All right, as soon as she came, I just got the ugly bird.
The fat thing, Jamie. You got the fat thing, yeah?
Just do that. Then you got someone to
You
talk
got
to.
the heavy sex thing.
And because you got the ugly girl, yeah? Because you got the ugly girl, the other girls come around you, go, is she with you? And you go, no, love, let's go. Come on. You know, that was me. That was me in the 90s and 2000s, by the way, guys.
Oh,
yeah.
Nah, you know what?
Yo, Jamie, you're trying to kill yourself.
I hate to say it.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Mrs. Phillips. Please.
I was just about to say we have to apologize on behalf of JV.
Yeah,
that's how I got the wife.
Nah, that analogy was legendary, man. That's something I would say, Jamie. I'm proud of you. I'm glad you're taking notes. You know what? We might even turn into Man U, you know, where Man came out with the same dead 11. Nah, hear me out. Came out with the same dead 11, get a result, and the whole fan go, we're back. That's what Ali was doing. Think about it. He was doing the same dead tactics, missed for 5 games, hit 1 game, and they're like, yep, we're back. And to this, Jamrock, you know, I'm still kitchen shopping, you know, a little sophisticated now that I stopped smoking. So I'm shopping for the right kitchen. Found out the cooking ain't the same with the heat plate stove, or whatever they call that stove. I got to see the flames, man. I'm old school.
You need a grill.
I got to see the fire to get it to the right temperature, you know. So I'm kitchen shopping. I should lock something down today. Actually, we got the keys today. We're gonna be moving in. So yeah, that'll be up and running. If you want me to cook something, if you guys want any special requests, I'll show you how to throw that down. It has to be Jamaican. And we'll take it from there.
That's me out. So I'm the plainest eater in the world, man.
Jamie, you just got to follow what Zabiri's doing on the show. Just copy what he's doing.
I am the fussiest. I am an egg and chips man. That is me done. Pie mash, egg and chips. That's my life, man.
Is it true? Yeah, I know I'm getting off topic, but is it true that you don't like water?
I can't stand water. I choke on water.
Where?
I choke on water. Yeah. I choke on it.
But Jamie, have you tried the little additives to give it flavor, like, you know, the Gatorade packs?
Yeah, that's why I'm like this. That's why I'm a bit out of my head.
All he's been doing is taking the Lucasade.
This man shouldn't have sugar. I'm 41 years of age and I should not have sugar. Sugar is like I've got more energy in my 3-year-old. You know what I mean? It's bad. It's bad.
Hey Jamie, I saw you do it on Oh, whose channel did I see you do it on? Give your Trent impression of him getting back.
My Trent impression. I did it on my own channel, didn't I? I did it on my own.
Yeah, that was it. When I saw that, I died.
But it's accurate. Accurate.
That's Trent getting back into his right back position.
Now, we might be turning into United, man. I think if he does the same thing and we get a result, I think that might overshadow the flaws. I would really rather him try something new and lose than do the same thing and get a result. I'm looking forward for a win, but I don't want it to come from us doing the same thing. I want to see something new. Doing the same thing, getting a result, just mask the pain. It just masks the struggles, and it cover up for that little snake. I think he's a snake. I'm saying it. I'm going to be saying it all season. You can't release a book and doing a book press run while you should be studying the opposition.
Yeah, it's actually not acceptable when you think about it. It's actually mad. Imagine Paul Clements releasing a book.
But Jerry, it's like I keep saying to you, those who do not hear must feel. So
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I'd rather, if we played the exact same way, I'd rather we just lost. I'd rather we just lost. And I know that sounds crazy. People are gonna think, damn, like you want Liverpool to lose because we're not winning isn't helping. As Zabiri just said, it's just masking over. It will turn into Ollie under Manchester United, where you think 5 games you done crap, and then that one game where you were just on it and you won, all of a sudden it's like we're back. You might win 2 games, 3 games, but then you really know it's the same problems. I don't want that anymore. I'm actually tired of it. I'd rather lose to a team like Bournemouth, because then if you don't change it after that, someone's got to go from somewhere. I don't care who, but someone's got to go. Someone's got to go.
Would Klopp at any other club be in his job still?
No. I mean, he probably would, but he'd be under serious pressure. He'd be under Because the Chelsea would have been gone in this season. We had injuries, so yeah, it's mad. But I read this one as well. Big up Grizz in the cut as well. John Paqueta saying Flacco has been ran into the ground. That's very true. EMP.
They all have.
Yeah, exactly. EMJP saying Fabinho at right back. He did it at Monaco.
Yeah, takes away too much from the midfield.
Man ain't got mobility in midfield. Fuck that, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Imagine that we actually have to be up and down. That
exactly.
Yeah.
McLovin. Shout out to McLovin and guy. Just look at that.
I was about to look at the picture.
Yeah,
Is that Virgil?
That Virgil is that Virgil aura.
Yeah, man.
But what no one sees on that, Trent's in the corner of that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Just looking.
Yeah.
If Trent actually run into the box, he might not get the blocking, but it'll stop Sancho making that shot.
That maybe takes another touch or whatever.
Exactly.
McLovin saying if Pep could manage Liverpool for one game, his 2X would be Elliott and Carvalho based on player profile in the half spaces. That's true. That's very true.
That's why I'm saying he should play.
They won't even be central midfield. They'll be like everywhere. You wouldn't even know where they're playing.
Yeah, but they'd be in half spaces everywhere. That's what it is.
Let him play. Just let him play.
Same play. Jody P saying, I'm saying this could be our worst 3-game stretch of the season, and hopefully other teams have a bad 3-game stretch. But our situation is already dire. We have no midfield at the moment. That's very true. Very true, Jody. C3 Swamp, big up C3 Swamp saying, why don't we do a 4-2-3-1 and play Carvalho as a 10? Something has to change. Yes,
we've been saying this from pre-season, mate. And if it's not Carvalho, even if it's a Jones or Elliott, just play them where you know they're gonna excel.
Exactly, change something up. EMJP again saying June 2022 is Mbappe 2020 or 2021. A rumor to keep us quiet. It ain't happening. I mean, listen.
Mbappe rumor was by media. That was by media. That's by media.
Exactly. WP saying here again, if we played more first teamers in preseason, I think we would have had more injuries than we do now. That's very, very true.
No, they might be fit. That might be the thing. They might actually be fit and won't get injured.
Yeah. We know here saying Klopp tactics increase your football age by like 3 years. Yeah. We spoke about Fabinho, innit?
We are 2 games away from calling the A team in. That is how bad it's getting.
Yeah, it's actually true. When does the window close?
1st of September.
Next
How many more
Wednesday.
games have we got?
And guess what? We got a game that day.
Yeah, and we'll lose that
Newcastle.
day.
Newcastle.
And we'll
Oh,
get smashed
even
by
better.
Newcastle, and then everyone be
Um,
like,
that's a
Find
game
a
I'm not looking
£50 million
forward to.
striker.
Yeah. Any 4 times, big up Any saying when Buvac left, Klopp said, it felt like I've been the manager for 17 years. I had all the functions and tried to influence my team as much as I could to help them succeed, but I don't need attention.
yeah. Buvac is a bit up himself, though, ain't he?
Yeah, Buvac said that, man. Yeah, he is. Definitely argued. Demo Dre saying in this game we need points over performance.
Yeah.
That is facts.
I think it will be the reverse though, Demo. I said just before the start of the stream, I reckon the possession stats will go up. At full time, I think it's going to be 85-15 or maybe 82.
It's going to be mad. Yeah, it's going to be mad.
82-18 or something. But we'll huff and we'll puff, but we'll not be able to blow the house down, bro. We'll end up a stalemate 1. I can actually see it. That's
we're going to do the predictions. We're going to do the predictions at the end. Yeah. So, Jody P saying Trent also got 1-2 played around him like he wasn't even there, and then he didn't try to get back. Virg can't take all the blame on that Sancho goal. No, it's a collective effort, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the whole back line.
The boss, evening fellow Copites. I've just subscribed. Great. Big up, the boss. Hope you're well. So guys, let's get into it, man. And we'll start with Zubiri, and we'll go Jamie, Roms, G, and then myself. So Zubiri, score prediction for the game, man.
I have 2 scores, and I can't give 1 score because it's all dependent on what Bournemouth shows up. I'm telling you, most teams shows up with their A games, take a point. If Bournemouth is flawless on the day, it could be a 3-2 win to Bournemouth. But if they slip up, we can gut them right open 3-1. I'm telling you right now. So it's all about the amount of mistakes Bournemouth make or don't make. So if they're flawless, it's 3-2 Bournemouth. If they make a mistake, it could be 3-1 Bournemouth. I can't see us keeping a clean sheet because we haven't sorted out midfield. So there's no cut in passing lanes. We're getting cut open way too easily from beating one man. It's not like they take on the whole team. They beat one man in the middle of their half and one pass open us up. So I can see him getting a goal. So because I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm going to say 3-1 win. But a part of me knows if Bournemouth shows up, it can be 3-2 Bournemouth.
Jamie.
So, apart from Man United, we are the biggest scalp in English football, yeah, without a doubt. And that is why a lot of these teams play their arses off against us and then bend over against Man City because they're just not a scalp at the moment. Bournemouth will play. Bournemouth they're not going to play football. They're going to try and sit back at Anfield. 5-4, 1-1, something like that. Try and counter us on the counter attack. We'll have all the possession, but I do think we'll actually win this game because Bournemouth are that bad. If we can't beat these teams with the players that we have got, the players we've got at the moment, or we can put out in 11 against your Bournemouth, against your Palaces, against your Fulhams, we should be winning anyway. We should be winning anyway with them players. So the excuses have got to stop. I think we'll win 2-0. It's going to be a horrible game. It's going to be boring. I think the crowd will start to get a bit nervous. It'll be 0-0 at half time, and then we'll win it in the second half. But the only player I feel sorry for in this whole Liverpool team is Alisson, because he's literally the only man who's done nothing wrong.
Facts. Yes, facts. It's facts. I mean, Roms.
So just trying to get the lights up. There are 317 people watching. Come on, let's get them lights up, man. But
guys, look, there's 306 of us. It means that we must be doing something well. Please. It means that it means a lot because it helps the channel grow, helps the likes of Jamie, Zubiri, Roms, G, myself as well, get on other platforms because we're more visible and it helps just the whole course. So please, if you can help us get those lights, it will be amazing. Thank you. Go on.
I think it's just going to be a carbon copy of the Palace game, and I think someone said that. Big up Marquet. I think Marquet said it on the tactics board yesterday. But I do feel, and I just have to go with evidence of our last 3 games, they take the lead through more. Back post, big up Saint every time. But back post through, I think he'll tower over Trent and they'll take the lead. We'll show resilience. We'll get back into the game, but I think it ends 1-1 and then the pressure.
If it ends 1-1, then Klopp's some.
The pressure will really mount. But I think, God forbid it's 1-1. Of course, I want my club to win, but 1-1. We said that about United, Demo.
You said that about United. You said that about Palace. You said that about Fulham. We're still sitting with 0 wins. So
nothing's a given, man.
Yeah, man.
Saint went mad.
T-shirts out now. $5.99 for a small, $7.99 medium, $10.99 large.
Jerry, imagine I said to Saint why I think BBD's not playing as well as he could be because he doesn't want to get injured again. Saint went mad. After this, go and watch the preview. Saint went
guys,
mad.
make sure to shout out to Saint LFC TV. Please, he's making obviously check it over there as well. You'll catch the likes of Jamie on there. Zabiri's been on there a couple of times. Rom's a regular on there as well as Ish, the equalizer. So please make sure you're checking over and smashing that like and subscribing. But G, how you feeling, man?
2-2.
Done.
How's the game panning out?
I actually think we'd go 1-0 up. I just think they would come back. I don't think we'd have enough to hold them off. I can see us conceding 2 goals for some weird reason. If what Jamie was saying about potentially the predicted lineup, obviously it's just a prediction, so we don't actually know. If that is the lineup, 2-2.
Yeah,
because that team cannot.
What was the lineup?
The same team as Man United. Or was
same sort of team as Man United, yeah. Same sort of Milner is still in there, Fabinho in there, and Elliott in there.
Oh yeah, so 2-2, definitely 2-2. I think they will start. They're gonna, as everyone was saying, Bournemouth are preparing the whole week to play against Liverpool. They know what to do. They're not stupid. We play the same way for the last 10 years. They know what our weaknesses is. So I feel like 2-2. If it goes to 2-2, all I'm saying is Klopp, he has to get a win. The performance, obviously we'll talk about that afterwards. But if he does not win,
just win. Yeah.
Me and Klopp are gonna have some serious words, man. Serious words.
Gee, apparently you said that this would be you and Klopp outside the AXA after the game.
Swear y'all don't know the
Jesus Christ.
Bro, that is going to be me and Klopp if he does not win this game. I
want to know.
I will go to Liverpool.
I want to know what the story is behind that.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know how you grab a man by his neck and lift him off the floor like he's.
Bearing in mind, Klopp's taller than me, and he's a big guy. He's a big.
Nah, I got the story on that, man. That's Klopp and Linda's after the game. Trust me.
Oh, if I can do that to Yinders now, I'll do that right now.
That's Klopp and Linda's after. If we don't win, I'm telling you, that's Klopp and Linda's.
Does anyone know any of the top 6 teams' number 2s?
No. And that's why Pep Linders is a snake.
Why does everyone know Pep Linders, man?
Because he's out here writing books about his flipping one season that we won 2 trophies that weren't even the 2 biggest trophies.
It's like Anne Frank's diaries, ain't it? That's what that book's like.
That was interesting.
Is Colo Torre Brendan Rodgers number 2?
Sorry?
Is Colo Torre Brendan Rodgers number 2?
Yeah, Colo Torre, yeah, it is.
Yeah, and that's why they ain't top 6 no more. So the point you're making, Jamie, I don't know the top 6 number 2.
Yeah,
that's embarrassing. Man.
I mean, look, listen. If we lose this game,
I'm driving to Liverpool. Let's just go because this is getting long.
No. Surely this has to be Klopp to FSG.
Would have been able to eat.
Surely, how do you explain? You've got world-class players. Listen, to Bournemouth, I don't know. I mean, look, with my prediction, considering we've had decent results against Bournemouth in the past. Surely we got to kickstart our season. We got to kickstart our season with this game. Like, sure, like this is the best game to do it.
And we got Newcastle on the Wednesday.
We're not on TV. There's no pressure. Like 1-0. I'm going with a 1-0 for Liverpool. I think 1-0. I think it will be scrappy. I do feel it will be a 0-0. And considering my recent takes recently, everything that I'm saying is coming to fruition. I said it about the Champions League draw. I said we'll get Celtic or Rangers, and we got one of them. I don't know. My heart's telling me 0. My head's telling me 0-0. My heart's telling me 1-0. Chat, what do we do? What do we go with? I'm not sure. I'm on the fence with this one.
Do you think Saints don't like Pep by any chance?
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we're looking into it too much. Maybe yes, have his say about Pep Linders. Maybe, to be fair, what we need to do is do a book club. And every week we read a chapter.
Oh, read a chapter of Pep Linders.
Real talk.
Read a chapter.
Have you seen the title of all the? Have you seen the title of all the chapters?
Oh yeah,
Have you seen the damn title?
It's cringe, man. It is.
Yo, nah, you know what? I take everything back that I said about Pep. And here's why. I usually don't backtrack like this, but being sober off the marijuana helps.
It's helping you.
Hear me out. And I'm gonna sign off soon too, guys. But Pep might have wrote that book so we can, if we're smart, like you said, Jerry, props to you, props to Jamie, we should just do a chapter after every game so we can focus on the book more than what's going on the field. Because I can't really see the value of the book other than every Liverpool channel, we just dissect the book versus dissecting the game. Because dissecting the game might be way above our pay grade.
True.
Yeah.
It might be way above our pay grade, but dissecting a book, anyone can do that as long as you can read.
Sabiri, there's a chapter in it that's titled "Training is Our Transfers."
I'm gonna backtrack once again. Pep is the snake. I'm gonna backtrack once again. Pep is the snake.
But what do they say?
Well,
about,
to be fair, training is complex, man. Because speaking from my experience as a player, when I'm in training, I am FIFA streets. I don't know if you guys play that game.
Yeah.
Man is getting nutmeg constantly. I'm skinning man left, right, and center. But when I get in the game, the coach is like, yo, you're right, you're left wing. I'm like, big man, I have no left foot. What am I doing over here? So my confidence dropped so far from training, because training, I'm in my position, skinning man. That's either DM or right back. Man put me left wing. I've never been over here. I don't even know how to operate this thing. I don't even have the manual for left wing. Yeah. So I don't know if that's what they're doing. Maybe Carvalho is doing his thing in the 10, and then in the game he's left wing. I don't know if Trent is in right midfield, and in the game he's right back. We don't really know. So maybe he's onto something, but
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I went and spoke about, and I think the key thing for me is I looked at those words and I didn't hear coaching is our transfers. It's training. Training doesn't involve anything about development. Training is just training. You can train in the gym.
Yeah.
Training. It's just training. It's getting fit. It goes. Training and intensity are together. Development and coaching are synonymous in there together. Like, he didn't say coaching is our transfers, where we're trying to coach these players to get by. It's training. It's just getting these guys fit. So which is
actually, Klopp said coaching.
It's mad. Our transfer is to get Thiago fit, to get Naby Keita fit. That's our transfer.
Do you know what's mad about it? Do you know what's mad about it? Klopp would have had to sign this book off, right?
Exactly.
I don't think he did. I don't think Klopp signed it off.
No, he did, because he wrote in the back of it.
He wrote in the back.
Yeah. On the forward, on the forward. Yeah. So before the actual book starts, there's a long, like 2-letter page from Klopp talking about how he loves Pep, how Pep changed his life, how he looks at him as like.
He signed off on it, man.
He signed off. Of course he did.
Listen, man, that might have been in Klopp contract. I can't buy this. You know why I can't buy it? Jerry, what you said was so revealing. If training is the transfer, that's not the message Klopp has. Klopp has the message like, we're coaching these players. Yeah. How you going to teach a world-class player like Thiago how to run? That's a coaching move. And Pep is telling me about training move.
Well, when you go into it as well, they talk about coaching and all that. But
no, the one that pisses me off is Naby lad, do that again.
Naby lad, do that again. To chapter as
you've
well.
Been
Naby lad, do that again.
Since you stepped through the doors of our club. What do you mean? Do what again? That's the one that pissed me off.
But Naby Keita's sponsored by Miracle Grow. I mean,
Naby Keita is class. Naby is class. I'm not gonna lie, because right now, if you type in Naby Keita at RP Leipzig, you'll be like, nah, that's dope. We need that. Unfortunately, we never got that.
If I type in, do you know what I mean, all these players we had,
and that's what I'm saying, Jerry. We got the top of the ketchup. We got the expired ketchup. That water juice.
We got the afterbirth.
That's what we got.
The residue.
The residue. We got that water. We didn't shake it up first. Yeah. We just brought man in.
We got the bit that run down his mum's leg.
Jamie. You know what? On that note, guys, big up everyone in the chat. Before we head out, Jamie Zabiri, Roms G, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining me on the channel. Jamie, what have you got coming up?
I'm getting later tonight at 10:30. I've got a Liverpool Bournemouth preview because I'm not around Friday and Saturday because I'm at the hospital with my penny on Friday and Saturday. So then I'll be back Sunday. So there'll be another video Sunday. So
hopefully everything's going on with Penny, man.
Yeah, she's doing good, man. She's doing good. Next surgery is on around the 12th, 13th of September, and that's when they go completely fuse her neck from the top of her skull all the way down. And then, I mean, she's only 5 years old. So that's a big thing for her to have done, but it's the right thing for her to have done.
Hey, Jamie, is this the one where she's gonna be in the bed pretty much for the whole recovery and can't move?
Yeah, that's where she is now. Yeah, so she's in traction at the moment. So she's got a halo on her head that is screwed into her skull all the way around her head.
Yeah,
and then they put weights on the back of it, and she's got 13. She weighs 14 kilos, yeah, because she's small, and they got her body weight on her head. And that's
thoughts and prayers out to you and your family, man. Smash the like for Penny, guys.
Yeah, no, her head's perfectly straight at the moment because her head's like this because of the way it's fused on her neck when she was born. So her head's like this. We've never seen it before. She's totally different, and that's what the traction's doing. So they have to do that for around 2 or 3 weeks, and then they fuse it.
And then once it's fused, then hopefully everything.
And then hopefully, as long as her bone takes it.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Yeah. Listen. Shout out to Jamie because you can imagine that me, G, Roms, everyone knows ourselves. It was a brilliant when you're doing all of this and you've got work and we're streaming day in, day out. And Jamie's, work rate is ridiculous. So shout out to Jamie. That going on in the background as well. Like big up. And the whole chat's with you as well. So massive appreciation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on. G, what you got coming up, man?
If we lose, nothing. If we win, then on Instagram, my ats are all here. But if we lose, don't anybody at me. I don't want to hear from anybody. I don't care. I support Arsenal if we lose because this is scary. To be honest,
I like that, G. I like that.
I know you like that.
I support Arsenal if we lose.
That's what I said it for you.
You know what? It's a win-win. Actually, it's never a win-win. If we lose, I can get pissed the next 2 days because it's carnival. If we win, better. But I'm joking. That's where you can find me. And up the Reds, man. Word to Demo. Forget the performance. That's just 3 points, man. Even if it's a controversial handball offside, just get the 3 points, lads, man. Come on.
Yeah, Zabiri. What you got coming up for the people, man? For the people that listen, appreciate you. Because I know.
So here's what I got coming up. So I tied down the kitchen today. So within a month, something should drop. Definitely. But separate from that, man, I'm here for the people, man. I've always been advocating for the people. I know some of them don't like my takes, but look, guys, I'm here for you because you've been distracted, you've been led astray, thinking it's FSG. It's not. It's not entirely Klopp, but I'm telling you, there's something between Klopp and Linders. Watch that. That might be Linders going to the man and be like, yo, I'm the guy. He ain't really doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's over there with Big Ula in the hotel, and I'm laying out the cones. I'm telling you, there's something there. Keep an eye on that. Watch the formation. Win, lose, or draw. You know what, man? I'm going to show up for the people because the people need to get it off their chest. I'll be here, man. Anywhere you can find me on Saints. You can find me on Jamie. Jerry, keep in contact. Hey, you guys just want to chat? Hit me on my Gmail, man. I'm not on the social. That's kingmafobia@gmail.com. Let me know what's going on, man. I'm here for the people. We need to be together. The team ain't together. The coaching staff ain't together. But hey, you'll never walk alone, man. Even if it's just me and you, we'll walk together. You know what I'm saying? Stay blessed, Jerry. Thanks for having me on. Jamie, I'll try to see you over there. Rams, big up. G, hey, keep your head, my G. I don't really see any hair on it. No shade, but hey. A win at Bournemouth might give you a little thing going. You know what I'm saying? That means that might be the growth spurt you needed. So hang in there, G. Good seeing you.
Yeah?
I'm just gonna start wearing a hat more often now.
Oh, that was a very.
Guys, it's been an amazing show. Please look, there's been 300 of us in the chat as well. So please just smash the likes on your way out. I will try to do an instant match reaction. It'll probably be at 10-15 minutes after the game. So please just stay tuned for that. Check out Jamie Phillips's show at 10:30 as well. It's been the Jerry James Show, and we're out, people. Peace.